Hey everyone, I'm Goat the GM, and thanks again for sticking around with the Ret-Con-Artists. This is the final episode of the RMSS Catatonic arc, and we have a lot of stuff about to happen. People are gonna fall, things are gonna explode, a pirate is gonna go flying, and others might just be recruited. We hope you enjoyed the final episode of the RMSS Catatonic.
Ready.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
I'm not
Okay.
prepared.
I know you said you can't see without your eyes. You need to listen.
Linda.
Linda, listen.
Welcome everybody to the Ret-Con-Artists.
Hello. Say hi, everyone.
Hi,
We're doing a thing?
everyone.
Yeah, we're doing
Yeah, hello.
We're doing it live.
I caught some of these peeps off guard.
That's off script.
Are we?
We have a script.
Character?
Shit, no one gave me the
Wait.
script.
You didn't get your
Shit.
script?
Did you
What's
send it to my
my-
Gmail?
What's my line?
Line.
Line?
Ruth, your line is hit something.
I'm dead.
Oh no, hold on. I've got Ruthie's line.
Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it.
Let me smash, please.
Oh, God.
That's pretty good. And what's your line, Alex?
I don't think I can make that noise again. I'm not as nasally as I was the other last time.
You're not? Oh, yeah, sure.
Wow.
Oh my
Anyway, D&D.
So, we are back after we had a week off. We played some more Magicka 2. We defeated Magicka 2. And,
That was the name of the final boss. Magicka 2.
Yeah, Magicka 2 fell to our swords, and our spells, and our...
Do we remember what the last boss's name actually was? Because if we don't,
Duka? Suprinder?
Surrender! No, I don't. It was the little girl, right?
it was.
Do you?
Yeah, I can't remember now.
Yeah, I got
So
nothing.
now she's Magicka 2.
Fair enough.
It's on her birth certificate. Well, anybody feeling up for a long-range recap from 2 weeks ago
Yeah, Game of Thrones is terrible.
Yeah.
of the
There you go.
Ret-Con-Artists? A recap of that.
Oh,
So,
Do it, please.
Here's the plan.
I can't even remember what happened. All
I'm
I
like-
remember is talking with those guys on the island.
I knew.
That was my favorite.
Yeah.
That's all I remember. And I know I did stuff. I just don't remember what I did.
The most appropriate use of Layman's tiny hut that ever existed.
I forgot about Tiny Hut.
That was good.
I think one of the things that I remember was that Max found, like, that people that they had treasures that were of Max's descent or of his family.
Oh, that's right. He found a ring with like a symbol of his family on it.
I thought it was like the whole crate. I don't know.
Oh yeah, it all
was the whole crate,
memorabilia. Yeah.
Yeah.
Scepters and gold stuff, I think, and gems or whatever.
Yes.
Smugglers.
So, Tim has defeated the Lieutenant Tuchable with a
Oh yeah.
a cane sword through his... Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you guys. Yeah, he was monologuing.
No, I thought that was a completely
That's right.
different session.
Yep. Tarvok successfully split his arm in twain, using the ceiling.
I split it in
No,
twain.
you forgot. Bjorn got impatient and didn't let him monologue and shot a freaking guiding bolt out and was like, "No, shut up." Because he wanted to go away. He was like, "Okay, I'm going to go now. I'm going to go and be evil." And
he was trying to do his
I'm a Tuchable.
evil guy escape
I'm a
moment.
Tuchable and I'm evil.
Yeah, and he didn't get away with that. He definitely he gurgled over a cane sword that was given to Tim by Bennington. So that happened. I got impatient. That's what happened.
I just feel like that's the phrase of the entire last like 2 sessions is that happened.
It really is.
Oh, I remember the Tiny Hut thing now. He was like, okay, the guys are going to take you back. And I'm like, Tiny Hut. That's right.
Yeah.
I remember.
And I one-shot the magical golem. Yay.
Oh,
that's right.
With
spell
the
magic.
super hard golem that really wasn't that hard.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm good at.
With a very
What my
basic
son made
blanket,
me.
basically.
Look what my son made me.
Sometimes the
It's a
easiest
wall.
solutions are the best.
It's true. What else happened?
Remind you to put up walls.
Well, those guys on the beach also thought, or down on the island, also thought that Arthur was definitely mentally stunted.
Spy.
And, well, first a spy, and then mentally
That is
stunted.
Very PC, and I'm proud of you.
Yes. And,
You never go full.
and they
Full
took his...
stunted.
Yeah,
You never go full
you
stunted.
never go full delayed. And they took his delayed self back to their boss, who we only so far know as boss, who Arthur decided to mess around with by making fun of his voice. Ergo, making fun of my voice.
Shit. Oh, that's why you said that earlier about my voices. I forgot about that too.
He's not the only one that's done it.
That's true.
What,
Yeah.
What was the voice you were doing for him?
Alex
I
was
think it was
making fun.
Darius.
Yeah, it was Darius Burrell. Yeah. Anyhow, so that is a recap, I suppose. The RMSS Catatonic is in really bad shape. It seems to be listing to its ass end, kind of dropping down through the sky. You know that there are still some bad guys on board from what Tuchable had mentioned.
I think it was like 6 or 8, if I'm not mistaken.
He said there were 8 that remained. So, there you have it. What else? Who else died? Anybody else die? Not that you know of yet.
People are starting to realize that their loved ones are missing.
Yeah, and the captain is trying to get everyone to the lifeboats.
Because someone's like, yeah, I'm totally gonna sink the ship that I'm on right now.
And we also learned that the axe was Ileana's.
Yep.
Who's probably also dead.
Who is probably...
To be fair, it was pretty obvious.
She was dead.
Yes, but everybody remembered now.
Also, fuck you for killing my only friend.
Also,
I thought I was your
why
friend.
Did we kill the only the NPC we actually remember most of the
To
time?
be real, anytime Ken kills off an NPC, he's killing off part of himself.
Yeah. Wow,
Well, I
that's
don't
dark.
care
He
about-
put
I
the shards of his soul into his characters.
And every time we kill one of his NPCs, we're killing him.
He gets a little bit weaker.
You're slowly picking away at my psyche.
This is how we defeat the DM.
Yep.
Exactly.
You
That's
never
the
defeat
true
the DM.
goal.
I can create
true
more
goal.
powers. All right. So let's kick it off back on the boat. So we last left off, actually, Arthur had just said, I need a minute, to the guy down on the island. So we're going to whoosh up to the boat. We're going to give Arthur a minute. And we're going to see what the hell is going on with the crew inside the royal quarters. Captain EXO has left. He's ushering people to the lifeboats from what you recall. You've heard the bell going off in the distance, the ding ding, the alarm bell. You are sitting there with Merrick and what was his wife's name again? Diora?
Marduk
And Dora the Explorer.
Dora.
She explored outside of the boat briefly for a moment while she was being held by the thing. Okay.
Good one.
Thanks. I tried. All right.
Up.
You're all standing in the royal packs. What are you motherfuckers wanting to do?
Get the fuck off this boat, for one.
Okay.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
All right. How are you going to go about
Everybody-
doing that?
Well,
Oh,
I
wait,
think
Hold on.
I recommend
Go on,
jumping.
Go on.
Yeah.
Shoosh, you weirdo. With your feather fall from thousands of feet in the air.
It's a halo dive.
Arthur strapped on his oxygen mask and leap of faith. The eagle
was a-
screamed as he leapt
The
off the
ultimate
deck.
trust fall.
So we can either stop them from sinking the boat, which sounds like a lot of effort, or we could just make sure that everyone gets
I don't wanna
off
work.
the boat and we just leave with them. I'm okay with either option.
I think that like finding all the other people on the boat is going to be difficult. But the
Perhaps
boat's
not
going
everyone
down.
else.
Boat's going down anyway, so
I think I'll stay until the last second where I absolutely need to jump. I, however, can still cast Featherfall.
I think Tim will just go to the top deck and watch the ship fall for a bit.
Just sitting there at an angle like this on the railing.
No,
Are
I
there-
think he'd be looking for suspicious people bailing out in awkward areas.
Okay.
Firebolting.
Anyone else?
He's not a terrorist. Jeez. Or am I?
How many boats are there? Or
How many
are
lifeboats?
there?
Do you still have your map handy?
I could find it.
In other words, no.
All right. So there are. Whoa! I just opened it up on the wrong screen.
Oh wait,
There we go.
is it? It?
There are a total of 8, 4 on each side.
Okay. Or how big are they? Or is that enough for everybody?
I mean, safety standards would probably say they should have enough for everyone.
Well, according to
Yeah.
OSHA regulation.
Yeah,
We're in
well,
the ocean!
if you remember the Titanic.
Yeah, true.
OSHA on the ocean.
Oh my
This
God.
alliteration's gonna hurt.
Okay. I guess I'll just or Vera will just like follow maybe Bjorn around wherever Bjorn goes.
Okay.
I don't know what like we need to get off the boat.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have Bjorn running around making sure the like rescue efforts happening. Like make sure everyone gets on the boats. I'm gonna save the innocents. I'll throw them on the boat if I have to. I'm limping though, because you know I got bit in the leg by a giant
Okay.
fuck off snake.
All right, and Tarvok, what are you up to?
I guess Tarvok's going to just kind of follow the other two realistically. He has no reason to stay in in the luxury suite. So
Tarfox running through the crowd, pushing people out of the way. Women and children first. You got to be this side to ride.
he knows what's important himself.
All right. So Tim, you went to the top deck, you said?
Yep, looking for suspicious bailings.
Bjorn, you have 2 people tailing you. Where are you headed exactly? Like what direction?
Well, we should probably go to the rooms.
Okay.
Make sure people are not like hiding in their rooms.
Okay.
Some people do that. Some people are stupid. But there's also events going on too, so maybe I don't know if we should split up because that always sounds like a bad idea, but maybe we should split up and find people who are at different events that are happening on the ship because I'm pretty sure there was an itinerary.
Okay. When you guys all burst out of the ballroom and you start to kind of go around the live dining area on the mid deck, there's barely anyone there. All the guards that are still employed here, all the guards that are not terrorists, seem to be directing people down the stairs to the main deck. At this point on the mid deck, there isn't quite that many people, actually. I think the last few people you see wandering around are Hobo and Big Z. Those are the only people that you see wandering around the mid deck, kind of trying to see if they can lend a hand. I think Hobo, just because, you know, he works there too and he loves his job. And Z, because, well, I think he just has that penchant for trying to help out. And he's kind of trying to scour the mid deck to make sure that there's nobody left behind. And that's about it. Everyone else, you guys look over the railings and you see everyone else is on the main deck, like waiting to file into a boat. Each of these boats, they look like almost like little submarines. They are covered, tall enough to have somebody to go in them, and they're all painted a bright orange, as per the map. You see, they are letting women and children on first, of course, and everybody seems to be waiting mostly patiently as this ship is actually tilting quite badly to the rear. So everyone on the mid deck is pretty well good.
So these lifeboats, do they also fly?
You should probably ask someone who works on the boat.
I do.
Just tell me.
All right, you grab the nearest guard and you say, "What do you say?" What's your bureau say?
Well, we were with the captain.
He left the room.
He left
last episode.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we'll just say you ask a guard. It's fine.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. You ask a guard, what's the deal with these lifeboats and are they safe? The guard turns to you and just says, "Well, right, you better get on one right now. They're gonna just drop off any second once everybody's on, so you don't want to miss your boat, if you know what I mean. They have these devices in them that will slow our descent, so you best get there." And he seems way too chipper for this crisis of a situation.
I said
Insight. No.
Have the lifeboats been inspected?
I'm not an inspector. They're a big guy. I'm sorry. You're the one with the clipboard.
Looks at my clipboard. I forgot I had this. Well, find someone who does inspections, because I don't want these things blowing up in midair.
Well, if I find someone who does inspections, I'm going to tell them to get the fuck on the life raft.
I don't like this
why
guy.
Why doesn't he just get on the life raft? I'm so confused.
He's an employee.
He's a guard. He's trying to rush people there. It's his job. Anyhow. All right. So does that answer your question? He said they have a device that will slow the descent.
Yeah, I basically understand how it works now.
Okay.
That's what I wanted.
Okay.
So we won't be able to get there with the boats. At least not easily, it seems.
It seems.
So Tim isn't with us.
Nope.
Right?
No, he's on the upper deck. Taking an upper decker.
Doing his best to stay
Chris.
toward the top of the ship so he doesn't slip and fall off.
Okay.
However, it may be angling.
Okay. Tim, I'll just quickly cut up to you on the upper deck, actually. There is not a soul up there anymore. The captain,
Okay.
you have seen him kind of up and down. Sorry, there's one soul, and that's his navigator in the main, in the brig there. He has been up and down to check on his navigator, but mostly he's been kind of ushering people as well, trying to make sure they get safely off the ship. Okay.
Holding fast.
All right. Back to
I think
the
we're
mid-deck.
just kind of waiting for something to happen at this point and getting people on the boats.
Okay.
Like I don't know what else to do.
Okay. Well, you guys, are you going to make your way down to the main deck then?
Oh, I thought that's where we were.
You were on the mid deck.
Sure. I'm gonna go find people, and if I don't find people, like employees and stuff, like even employees, I'm gonna be like, hey, get the fuck off. Like, what are you doing, man?
Okay.
Your work is dying.
Bjorn swears.
Violently. It's
All
it's a
right.
trait. It's a hidden trait we don't know about yet.
And the world rumbled.
So you guys
Only in times of extreme stress, like our boat falling from the sky.
Doesn't
All right.
port.
That's fair.
That sounds stressful.
Yeah, a little bit.
So you guys have cleared the mid deck at this point. You are telling all of the employees on the mid deck, including Hobo. He sees you walk up and is like, "Sup, Bjorn?" And you say, "Get the fuck off the boat." And he goes, "Oh, okay." And he goes down to the main deck, and he kind of gets in the lineup with the rest of the patrons of the boat now that everyone's kind of organized down there. And then you go over to Z, and he says, "Well, has anyone checked all the rooms or anything like that? Like, I'll go, but do you need me to help you check the suites?"
No.
Okay, I'll get the fuck off the boat
Go.
too then. Z hops down and gets in the lineup right behind Hobo, and they just kind of shrug at each other. Where to now?
We're gonna keep finding people.
Okay, you can't just keep saying you're gonna keep. You gotta give me a direction of where you want to go. Look at the map. Tell me where you want to go and what you want to check.
Well, we checked all. Bjorn said he was gonna check all the suites, right?
Okay.
So if we don't find any more people there,
Okay. You guys make your way from the galley end to the guard end of the suites, and you kind of find a few stragglers grabbing their belongings. I'm going to say 2 or 3 of them. You tell them, get the fuck off the boat. They're all heading out that direction. You make it to the very end near the guards area there, and on the starboard side, very last suite, you open up the door to double check, and inside are Glavius Sekul's wife and remaining son.
oof,
Yeah.
remaining son.
If you haven't noticed, the ship is sinking. So
Yeah. Yes, but
come on, let's go.
Glavius...
We'll find your husband. We'll find your husband. Come on, let's go.
Okay. And she walks out into the hallway, and as she's walking out into the hallway, she says, "He went looking for our missing son."
Of course he did. Why wouldn't he? Now shoot.
Okay, just tell him I'll be over at this boat on this side here. She points to one of the boats there. All right. Cool.
Thumbs up with my clipboard.
All the suites are clear.
Guess we're gonna go find this fucking guy then.
Oh, water down.
Was that the cat?
No, not me.
Oh, shit. Oh. water down or water ship down?
Oh,
Please
probably.
don't bring the bunnies into this.
Oh, I love the bunnies.
Poor
Love
bunnies.
the bunnies.
Okay. While Josh
gonna
is
look.
swabbing the poop deck, what do you guys want to do?
Guess we're gonna go find this guy.
Wait, what guy?
This Glavius
Oh,
Sekul.
right, yeah.
Or we could just not.
Okay, like at this point, I'm like we're just gonna fucking walk around the boat and find people. Like
Sure.
I don't know, I don't want to have to describe every time we move to a different location. That
Okay.
seems silly.
Sure.
Just
All right.
have us explore and tell us where we found
Alright.
stuff.
I just don't want to take away autonomy of your characters.
Monologue.
That's what I'm
monologue.
trying not to do, is make you guys go somewhere you might not want to go, so that lest you guys go, no, I didn't want to go there.
All right, I'll do it. Ready? You guys head up and down the deck. Quietly, carefully, you explore every crevice,
Ooh.
examining each room. You enter a room, and inside you find a skeleton standing in the middle of the room with a pirate hat on.
Fuck.
Turns and looks
Not a
at you, and in
pirate
your
hat.
mind you hear, "Arr, wear me boots."
Mimosa?
Where are me boots?
Well,
Do
when
you
I just
rescue?
when I say I go and find people,
Okay.
I have no idea where to go. Just
Okay.
tell me where I'm finding people.
All right. You guys make your way through all the suites. You have found everyone. They make their way to the boats on your direction. They seem to be maybe, I'd say, a fifth of the boat left that hasn't been able to fit in yet, but they're filing in carefully and slowly. And as you make your way down to the subdeck, and let me open up my map again. You make your way down to the first subdeck. You get through the staff bunks. There's a few staff members hanging around there. They're all making their way out after grabbing a couple of belongings. And you work your way back to the engine room. And you see Dimitri Cote just furiously working on the engines with his remaining staff.
Why? Walk in and just go, why?
Why?
I'll be like, Dimitri, is there any way you can fix this so that the ship doesn't go down?
And he's like wiping sweat off his forehead, and I'm trying, I promise, I'm trying to, somebody sabotaged this, and I don't know the extent of the damage that they made. I'm trying to fix the engine here, but the fuel hoses, they're all crisscrossed, and somebody's mixed up the fuel system, so it's not working properly. I don't know if it's fixable or not, but I'm trying my damnedest. I don't want this lovely piece of everything of my life to go down with me.
You know what's really great? You probably have blueprints of it and you know it works. So you can build it better and unsabotaged. So go away. To the lifeboats. Shoo shoo.
Okay, but I don't... So, they didn't attack me or anything. They just fucked with the engines. And they went down to the cargo hold. Maybe you should go and check there.
Do you know a guy named Glavius Sekul?
Is this the gentleman who had a tour before, correct? With his wife?
Looks at
and
other people.
his sons? Yes, I think
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure he went down to the cargo hold with the extra men who sabotaged the engine.
Uh-oh.
Thanks.
Okay.
Fucking go. Get out of here.
Okay, and he like lets go of one of the hoses that he was holding in place, and like an explosion, like a small explosion goes off in front of him, and the whole ship starts to shudder again, and you feel it list even further down as you guys all kind of struggle to keep your balance. And he he keeps his balance very well because of who he used to be, and he gathers his men and he says something in his foreign language, and they all go rushing up towards the stairs to the main deck.
All right.
You all make your way.
We don't have much time.
I assume that's probably correct. You all make your way down to the cargo hold. And as you get down there, you see 8 men dressed in guard uniforms trying to break open the cages of the ghouls and the harpies that are covered in the cargo hold.
So before we continue, just to
Yes.
go back a little bit, we know that the plan was to jettison these things out, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. We were obviously shown how to jettison these these creatures.
We had to because he showed us because we were very upset that they didn't do it humanely. He's like, oh, we're gonna do it like this, and then we were like, no, you kill him before we leave. Oh, jeez, I knew we should have poked the fucking birds.
And okay, well, that's not the only thing that you guys see in there. The next thing you see is laying in the middle of the front cargos 1 and 2 on the map. In between them is what appears to be the body of Glavius Sekul. Leaking blood from his cranium.
We're just all like, God damn it.
I mean, wasn't okay. So where
they haven't noticed you guys yet. You guys
are we just like on the stairs?
You guys are on the port side stairs, looking through the doorway into the cargo hold. At the bottom of the stairs, there's a doorway that leads in.
All right.
Yes.
Sneaky or smashing?
Becky, let me smash.
I mean, we don't need to fight them, probably, but we should probably get that man back out. I don't know.
Do you think that if I just said I wanted the guy and just leave and they could just release and then we can jettison?
I don't think that's going to work. So
what if I run really fast and you guys had your hand on the button?
So what I'm thinking is that we send Bjorn out. She goes and picks up the bloodied fella. Then we just jettison a lot of them. Just let them off into the ocean. A little cruel.
So I'll just remind you guys of the layout of this cargo hold. So you remember the cargo pulley engines are on either end, right? There's 2 massive hatches that the cargo is sitting on. That if it needs to be jettisoned. So the controls to hit the cargo pulley engines are on either end of that cargo hold. About about 100, maybe 200 feet to either direction.
Yeah, I have fog.
It's pretty far.
I have fog, right? So I could just cast fog on them, grab Sekul, and we could just go.
Popping a smoke bomb.
So hold on, can I just backtrack for a second?
Sure.
It's a pulley system?
There's engines that the pulleys are hooked up to that run off of everything else, basically. And it's just like, it's a lever. It's close, open, jettison, basically.
And if I were to hit one if I was to hit one with an arrow, and I hit it well enough, would it kind of maybe work, perhaps?
They're pretty fucking far.
That is a 200-foot shot. How far? I think 200 feet is the range of your shots, right? Total? Isn't that
I can double check.
That's a longbow range, I think, unless it's further.
I mean, you can always run with me.
150, and I start getting...
riding on Bjorn's shoulders.
I start getting diminishing returns at 600 feet.
Okay.
So I can make that shot.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
You can attempt it. It's going to have to be a really high success to hit that well enough to smack that lever. into the right position.
All right,
And it doesn't have to work.
but
We can always try and then just keep running.
Correct. And
Well,
in order to do so, you also are going to have to get to the middle of the cargo hold so that you can see past the cargo in order to even see the engine.
That's no problem. I'm very stealthy. Well, Tarvok is very stealthy.
Okay. And it is quite noisy. I'll give you guys this much. The engines of the ship are making a shit ton of noise, and there are screeching creatures in these cages. And, yeah, so, I mean, you can try and sneak to the center there if you would like. Go ahead.
Okay,
go ahead and roll me a stealth check, please.
So you want me to do fog cloud, or do you want to try to stealth yourself, get in position, and then I fog cloud and be as unsneaky as possible to grab the guy?
Well, I got a 16 plus 6, so 22 for stealth.
Okay. You successfully make it to the center, and you have eyes on that lever. It appears to be that you could potentially actually shoot that thing in the right direction. Like, shooting at it is the right direction to hit it to the jettison.
Cool. So I want to somehow look at the other two and go, fun sign language we thought of beforehand, Ret-Con. And I guess get Bjorn ready to grab Sakul and have Vera ready to assist if necessary. We want to keep her safe if we have to.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what to do, so
Okay, so which cargo are they at?
They're in between 1 and 2. They're trying to bust open the cages of 1 and 2.
So if I just throw fog at their face, they can't see, right?
What's the radius of your fog?
20 feet by 20 feet.
You would probably get a couple of them. I would say if you were to put it on the closer ones to obscure you coming in.
You also don't have to put it on them.
True.
You can put it like closer.
Can I just do multiple?
How many spells is that?
I've got 2 first level spells, 3 second level spells, and 3 third level spells I can still do.
Holy shit!
Wow.
I don't
You
use a
haven't
lot
used
of
them,
spells.
yeah.
I'm pretty damn
You could
spent.
definitely do multiple.
If you don't do anything in between, there's a 6-ish second gap.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one would be obscure their vision of like us, and the second one would be obscure the vision, the rest of it.
You would have to cast it 4 times in order to completely cover the narrow between those 2 cargo areas. So that is 24 seconds.
Where is that guy? Where is Sakul? Where the fuck?
He's right in the middle, basically on the right side of cargo 1 and 2. So he's, from you guys, he's about diagonally 1, 2, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Oh, so he's like right in the middle of all of the guys.
So Tarvok's next to him?
He's closer to your guys' end. He's closer to the center of the cargo hold. It's like he had got up to them and they knocked him or whatever they did.
Okay.
So Tarvok is basically in between the 2 stairs there. Like right smack dab in the middle.
Oh. If I cast fog, then Tarvok won't be able to see then, right?
So you wait until I shoot my arrow,
Yeah.
cast it, I grab Sakul, and I drag him back. We have a plan, Bjorn.
I have an idea.
Oh, there we go.
Oh gosh, what's your idea?
Oh man, I need time though. Dang it. If we wait if we wait a little bit, I can cast Tensor's floating disc, and we could put him on the disc, and then basically I would just run away, and the disc follows me, and then that would leave you two able to do whatever you need to, instead of like someone having to carry him.
I love plans that are both heroic and cowardly at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna save him, but I'm gonna run away while doing it.
Yeah. Real important that we run away. But I need I think it's I'll need 10 minutes, unfortunately. I don't have it.
You don't have a spell slot?
I mean, well, I don't have it prepared.
It takes 10 minutes.
I can ritual it.
Yeah.
Oh.
But that's
Okay.
a long time.
Well, I don't think we have 10 minutes. Well, we might, but
I'm gonna say no. You probably don't have 10 minutes. It looks like they're almost through the first set of cages there.
All right, so
the plan is
first plan, best plan. Yeah.
You fire arrow, I cast fog, and then I could run there and grab him, and then we run back.
It's not like Tarbok's a weakling. I'm probably gonna be able to drag him with minimal effort.
Then do it. All right, I'll cast fog and be ready to whoosh. Do it. Let's go.
Okay.
All right.
This is what we're doing.
Part 1 of the plan: shoot that fucking thing. So it's +7 to hit. Oh, it's +8 to hit now. Yay! What?
Pull the lever, Kronk, is what he said.
Oh yes, very good.
So sneaking it is.
12 + 8, 20.
You fire your arrow, and it kind of makes that little sound as it goes past these guys. It kind of makes them stop.
That's fair. That's fair.
But they dismiss it as there's still a shit ton of noise going on around them. Your arrow clatters off the end of the lever and bumps it just a little bit. And it's just kind of on the precipice of open mode.
If they didn't notice you, shoot again.
I guess I'll take another shot. See how she goes.
Okay.
17 + 8. So 25.
Your second arrow, I imagine...
That's a birdie.
I imagine Tarbok letting your first arrow go and going... and then resetting and going again. And your second arrow, you got to feel for it this time. It smokes that lever just with enough force to send it past open and down into the jettison. And those doors start opening quite rapidly. And you see these guys all start to grab onto the cage as the doors are opening. And the cages are kind of starting to slide down and the straps are letting go on the ends as the whole system starts to do what it's supposed to. Glavius Sakul starts to roll. I'm going to say he's on the cargo 1 side, so he's more on the starboard side. He's starting to roll as well as the cages down to the opening that's beginning to form at the bottom of the cargo hold there.
Uh-oh.
Cool. I take that I reaction, man. I just dive in, grab him, and start pulling.
All right.
What do you want?
I want you to roll me a dex check to try and basically get to him and get him off of that quick enough, because it's actually starting to drop lower than the floor itself.
All right, 13 and 6, so 19.
All right. You jump onto this tipping ramp as it's moving quite rapidly down, and it's, I'm going to say it like a 45-degree angle now, and you do get a hold of Glavius, but you yourself are now struggling to hold on to that, and you are starting to slide as well. Both of you are starting to slide down this ramp quite rapidly. You can roll me a dex save to try and grab the floor above you, but it's going to be a tough one.
Need help?
Do you call out to your friends?
You certainly know I do. I just go, Bjorn!
Starts just rolling. He's like, help!
Time to smash!
All right, what are you doing, Bjorn?
Reverse smash.
Yeah. Here's a reverse smash.
I'm gonna grab that son of a gun and pull him up.
All right.
I should have been able to do this.
It's fine.
Okay. I thought you were the one who was going to do it.
Well,
yeah, I thought so too.
Closer. I didn't expect it to happen so quickly. You know,
yeah.
I just thought maybe they'd have like a 10-second delay just in case of accidents or the workplace, but it's fine. Yeah. It's just like how people don't put railings over long falls in spaceships. People don't put delays and buttons.
Well, he did knock the lever past the slower open function into the jettison function. So.
Oh, of course.
That's the unfortunate side of it. So otherwise, it probably would have worked out a lot better.
The logic checks out.
Yeah, so I'll just also set the scene of all of these guys, all these assassins dressed in guard uniforms are gripping onto these cages that have now almost completely let go, and they have all slid down to the opening. A couple of guys are pretty safe, but like 2 or 3 of them tried getting up onto the top of the cages, and the cages came crashing together.
Oh.
And
Ouch.
may or may not have completely severed them at the waist.
They are now pudding.
You see one of them up on top of the cargo cages. He's sitting there, like, screaming, trying not to fall into this precipice.
I like that we're keeping with the gore theme from the last episode.
Yeah, right? And
Like
Bjorn...
No, I'm not complaining.
Good. I'm glad. I did it for you.
You know me.
All right, Bjorn, you are, I'm assuming, diving to grab these 2 fools as Tarvok's basically now riding Sakul's limp body like a sleigh. And roll me a dex check to try and like reach over that ledge and grab him.
Dashing through the catatonic.
I got a 19 too.
All right. You reach out to one of Tarvok's flailing arms, and you manage to snag onto him, and you're basically like hanging onto the edge of this cargo hold as it continues to drop, and Tarvok, you're hanging onto Sakul with like your legs and one arm, and you guys are just hanging over the edge of the open cargo hold as you notice all these crates just go crashing through the bottom, and that final guard or terrorist dressed as a guard also drops down through the hole, kind of like Looney Tunes style last second. And you are successfully holding Tarvok, but he's pretty fucking heavy. It's 2 people. So I want you to do a strength check to try and get him back up.
17 plus 4. 21. 22.
Okay. And
21.
Tarvok,
Yeah.
while you are being pulled up, I want you to do a strength check to try and hold on to Sakul for me.
Please don't drop him. But if you do, I won't be mad.
11 and 6 for 17.
That is also sufficient. He's not a very big man. All right. You guys all flop back onto the cargo deck. There are no longer ghouls, harpies, or terrorists on the ship. But the unfortunate result of what just happened was a shit ton of weight got released from the front of the ship as the back end was listing.
Yes.
And you guys basically have tilted to like a 60-degree incline, and you're all sliding towards the back of the ship.
So how quick was this shift?
It wasn't like a fucking slingshot or anything like that.
Okay, cool. I was kind of worried I was going for a bit of a joyride.
fairly noticeable to the people on the upper deck, though.
I got a walkie-talkie button, and I'm going to walkie-talkie our good friend Tim.
Okay.
Tim, I don't think we can make it to the lifeboats. Can you come down to the cargo
Tim's not
hold
here at the moment. Can you take a message?
Tim! We're doing a terrible job!
What?
I don't think we're doing a terrible job. I don't think we're doing a good job.
I'm gonna say at this point you guys have all like slid to the aft of the ship, and you're hoping that everybody got on those life rafts.
So we are at the butt of the ship in the cargo hold because we had to jettison everything. Can you come and cast Featherfall on us?
Wait, just pull the other lever.
You guys are right next to that.
It's like
you guys are right next to that engine, yeah. Matter of fact, I think that's what you guys would have bumped up against when you finally stopped sliding.
Wait, hold on. They have an idea.
I just pull it.
Please hold.
I'm next to it. I pull it.
You pull it to jettison?
Yeah.
Alright. It takes a good few seconds for it to fully open, but when it does, that cargo also drops out from underneath, and for a second, the ship almost seems like it's level, as it kind of has that momentum back up, but then it dips back down to about maybe a 30-degree incline. So
we can go on this? We can go find a boat?
You could.
Easier.
All right, I'm gonna put that guy over my shoulder, and away we go.
From what you guys can see,
just be careful with him. Bjorn. He pissed my pants, so just be careful with him. He might be wet.
He pissed my pants. It's not mine.
I swear.
It's important.
Sakul is still breathing, thankfully. He's got a pretty bad gash on his head, but he is still breathing.
Yeah, you just slap him.
Slap him with some help.
All right, get your fucking head back together. Let's go.
He's not waking up. He is pretty fucked up.
I don't want him to wake up.
Okay.
I just want his head to stop bleeding.
Him? Oh, okay, yeah, sure.
We're slapping him some health.
His head does stop bleeding. And don't. Well, I mean, you're gonna have to roll for that to see how much you drain, right?
Huh?
You have to see how much you drain from your healing pool to. So you roll for that from a pool, right? That's available to you.
If so, I haven't had no idea.
I think you don't roll. You just pick them when you want to use.
I just pick my spell.
That's a paladin.
You're a cleric, not a paladin.
Yeah, you're thinking of a paladin.
Okay,
I'm a cleric. I know that I'm pretty whoosh, but I am.
All right.
I have unlimited.
His head stops bleeding.
Healing word is a cantrip, right?
Right. All right. His head stops bleeding.
I have spare the dying, which is a cantrip, but I have cure wounds, which is the.
I can cast it too if you need a hand.
That's cool. I just don't have any level 1 spells anymore.
Wow. His head stops bleeding. He is breathing a little better now, and he is slung over your shoulder. When you guys look down through the cargo openings, you can see that you are rapidly rising. And it feels like you're in an elevator going up right
Rising?
now. Well, a lot of weight is gone off of this ship.
But we were also falling.
No, the back end was listing, actually.
What is... Okay.
So the back end dipped down, which means that one of the balloons is uneven. You guys just released a fuck ton of weight from this boat, and now you're rising again. But you're still angled going up.
I thought the fucking ship was going down.
It was initially when there was a bunch of weight on it.
Alright, whatever.
You guys didn't, equalize. You went past the point of equalization, and now you're going back up.
We shouldn't be going up too fast if we were falling, though.
All I'm saying is you are noticing. Yeah, I'm just saying you are noticing the feeling that you guys are rising as if you are in an elevator. It's enough to get that feeling.
Okay, I don't think it really matters.
Not really.
Let's go find a boat.
We were gonna get off the ship anyway, so
all right,
whatever.
All right, Tim, what are you doing while these folks are going to the boats?
Wait until he needs to jump. Tim's gonna wait till he sees the last life raft off, and he'll jump himself.
Okay. I'll cut back to the three of you. Tim, you're still looking over the top deck railing.
He's kind of hitting the button, hello, because the conversation just kind of ended abruptly.
True. Bjorn,
we're headed to the life rafts.
Who's this? New phone.
Hey, Tim, don't worry about it. We figured it out. Okay, just don't die. We'll see you in a bit. Bye.
Sort of.
Beautiful. All right, so the three of you make it to the life rafts just as they're starting to close up the doors, and you all pile in, and you see Hobo sitting there. There's just rows of seats along there, and
did they use all of the life rafts?
Yeah, they're all full, it seems. I mean, to be fair,
with the dead people?
To be fair, there's only 50 people still remaining on this boat, right? But yeah, in the one that you choose, it is full up, and Hobo's sitting there in one of the seats, and he goes, "This is pretty fucking crazy, yo. Hey, what's up?"
Does he do a lot of drugs when we're not paying attention? Because I mean, it's fine.
We are paying attention.
Fair enough.
I watch him for a long period of time.
You guys all sit down on the benches around inside, and one of the guards that is one of the, I guess, life raft marshals. They are all designated as a marshal for each raft. And he stands at the front and he goes, "All right, guys, this is not a tour. This is saving your fucking life. So make sure you strap in. If you got a wee one, hold on to him tight. We're gonna go for a wee bit of a ride. Do it now." And he pulls the lever right as he says that. And
please keep all arms, legs, and extremities in the vehicle at all times.
Like at Disney World. Para sus corridas, permanezca sentados en los manos brazos. Anyways. And he pulls the lever, and with a thunk, you see the ship just start to fall away out the little portholes that you can see out the sides of these little submarine-like things. And
Bjorn is screaming.
Can you give us a
On
rendition?
to Sakul and just going, ah!
You're holding on to the wee one.
While Bjorn's screaming, is the iPhone available? Can I press it and hold it so Tim can hear the screams?
Yes. Yes. And as you guys are dropping rapidly, all of a sudden you hear another announcement from this guard, and he goes, "Oh, nothing to worry about." Pulls another lever, and you see on each corner out of the portholes, you see like a little hatch like flip open, and a bunch of tiny little parachutes pop out of each corner, and they start to flap in the wind, and then all of a sudden they completely pull out a full-on parachute, and you guys go and you just start floating down gently towards
oh man, that's
the
super
ocean.
lame.
That's so anticlimactic.
Yeah.
That would
Basically.
also be really, really like we're like.
Yeah, you do feel your
It's
stomach
just a
go
wee
through
bit of
your butt.
turbulence.
Tim, you
The
hear
more
this
the
screaming, and then like a of like everyone in these life rafts, and
Tim hears that from the phone in his pocket, and he just kind of grins.
and you're looking out over the railing, and you see all of these life rafts are detaching from the boat, and you feel that like rising feeling get even worse. And you feel a bunch of shuddering coming from your end of the boat because you're at the aft where the engines kind of are close to. And you look down off of the upper deck, and you see a single figure standing on the dining area, the outdoor dining area of the main deck at the back.
Swear to God, if it's Sakul, I'm gonna put my hat.
You have Sakul.
You're holding Sakul.
They could not be Sakul.
Magic.
Yeah, magic.
And you see a very stoic, trying to keep his balance, Captain Exo, standing there with his hat over his heart, going up with the ship.
Yeah.
So, upon seeing this, Tim will probably take off in that direction to go see him.
Okay. You make your way down to the main deck as the ship continues to shudder more and more violently. And as you're passing the dining hall, or through the dining hall to get to the main deck aft, you see another figure sitting at the bar. And you see Dimitri Cote sitting there, just pounding vodka. Seemingly extremely upset with himself that he could not save this ship.
Alright, so Tim's gonna run to Dimitri, and he's gonna hit him in the back of the head with his cane, but not violently.
I'm gonna hit him with the back of the cane, not violently.
Not like a
Like a what
not
are you
like
doing?
I'm gonna fucking
You're just
hit.
gonna wrap
it's
him on
just
the
kind
head?
of like a. Oh, wake up! Time to go.
You're gonna give him a Mr. Miyagi, basically?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so he's sitting there at the bar, and you crack him over the cranium with your cane. Alliteration.
Gently.
much? Gently. And
But enough to get the point across.
and he kind of snaps to, and old habits die hard, I guess, and he spins in his stool, grabs your cane, and goes to punch you in the face, and he just kind of relaxes for a second. And you can see he's finished like half a bottle of vodka already. And he looks at you, and his eyes are kind of glossed, and he goes, "What is the point? This is all I have right now.
tough shit. Come with me.
Right to the point.
Roll me a persuasion check.
I see that Bjorn and Tim have the same amount of emotional connection with people.
Where's my scrolly? $16 + 4 is a 20.
All right, you say tough shit, come with me, and he kind of looks at you with a little tilt in his head, and you just, I suppose, and he follows you. I don't. And you guys walk. He follows you out to the dining deck there on the aft of the ship, and you see Captain Exo standing there, and he just seems at peace. He's not upset looking or anything like that. He's just disappointed. And he's got his hat over his chest, and his eyes are closed, and he seems to just be kind of meditating there as the ship continues to rise and shudder up into the clouds.
Tim's gonna walk up and push him off.
All right.
Yes. Are you gonna jump off with him to make sure? Or like...
I'm bringing Dimitri with me.
Oh
all
my
right.
God.
You walk up behind the captain.
Not so much of a push. It's like, Dimitri. Yeah, I'm assuming he's still a little persuaded.
Yes, he's with you.
Here's the plan. We're taking him with us. I'll make sure we get down safely.
All right.
Follow my lead.
And he gives you a quick cat-like nod, and you guys, I assume, are gonna tackle this guy off the boat.
Tim's gonna look at Dimitri and he goes,
Have you ever played a sport where you have to run and hit somebody as hard as you can?
Yes, in my country it's called...
Doesn't matter, let's go.
No. Monologue over already. And you guys go sprinting at the captain. Roll me a quick strength check to just knock him off his feet. It doesn't have to be anything crazy.
what the heck is my strength? I haven't used this
I think it's 0.
ever.
I think it's
0. Oh, you're right.
Never.
It's not there. It's just... Well, it's an 18, so...
That is more than enough. Combined with Dimitri Cote's... Well, 2. And you guys go sprinting towards the captain, and you each take a side, and with a big oof, you tackle him and go sailing over the railing, past the propellers, and you are now plummeting to the ground with various parachuted life rafts.
The ship was filled with hydrogen, correct?
Correct.
Oh, Jesus.
Tim's gonna try and cast Fireball on it prior, like as they're clear of blast radius.
You just have to go out with a bang, hey? How many spell slots do you have left? I'm gonna be.
That is a 3rd level spell slot, and I have not used one of those. Okay.
All right. Go ahead and tell me where you're gonna aim that bitch.
I'm aiming for where the engine is, right where the reserves are. Since Fireball's got a 20-foot blast radius.
That's true. That's fair. Okay. So you're kind of aiming like right near the opening where the prop is, kind of thing. All right. Go ahead and roll to hit. You are falling at a rapid pace.
That is a 16 plus... Where did it go? 4.
Yeah. You launch
2-0.
You launch your fireball. I'm not going to make you roll damage because it's the element that you're hoping for. And much like the small hole exhaust port the size of a womp rat. Ha! Sorry. Your fireball takes a strange 90-degree... No, I'm just kidding. It goes directly into the gearing of the back of the prop, and nothing happens. And about 5 seconds pass before the biggest fireball you've ever seen erupts into the sky and just starts raining smoke and fire and shrapnel and nice fine china and you name it, pieces of salami and pepperoni and mimosa, You guys.
Can we see it on the lifeboats?
Oh yes, and you can feel the heat of it too. It is huge.
I want to applaud. Good job, Tim. Doing a great job. I mean, a terrible job.
I assume you're going to be casting Featherfall next.
As we get close enough to where we can angle ourselves toward the nearest land structure or toward the ship.
All right. I just wanted to make sure that you had enough spell slots to do that.
Featherfall is a first level.
Because that would suck.
Any first level.
Okay. Sweet. All right. You guys, the captain actually is kind of just plummeting like an idiot. He's pissed. He's not trying to direct himself anywhere.
We held on to him.
Yeah, he's not like trying to do it
because we figured he would be stubborn, or I did.
Fair enough. And by the time you cast Featherfall, I'm gonna do the same thing that Arthur did. You guys have enough gumption to direct yourself towards that same closest island that Arthur was able to get to. Back in the ships. What, you look confused there, Josh?
I thought we were continuing traveling for quite some time. I don't know.
It was some time, yes, but you guys hadn't made it too far that you couldn't make it there.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
All right. Back in the life rafts. What are you guys doing in your life raft? You're just kind of hanging out with Hobo and an unconscious Sakul.
That's basically it. I mean, Tarbach is definitely tired. It's been a very frustrating few days for him, and I imagine everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just sitting there with his, his giant hand on his giant head, and the only thing out of his mouth is, "Oh, I could use a drink."
And somewhere down the line of the bench, you hear, "Mimosa?"
Well, I mean, if you got to him, I'll take one. I mean,
and Sam goes, "No." And he just gets really sad.
It's okay, Sam. It's okay.
All right. You guys are slowly falling for quite some time, but eventually there's no way to control this raft, as you've learned from this guard. It's basically just, hopefully you land somewhere decent. But when you do land, you splash into the ocean amongst the other 7 rafts, and the guard, he pulls a lever in the back as well, and the top kind of pops open and flops down into the ocean as well, and kind of adds to the width of the entire raft, and you guys are now afloat in the ocean. And the guard points to Bjorn and another big dude that's on the ship and just goes, "Right, start rolling, let's go." And he pulls out his little cone, old school cone megaphone, and starts going, "Stroke, and he's pointing towards the islands.
I'll get up, and then I'll just hand him Sakul and grab the thing,
the oar,
and then when he starts saying "stroke, stroke," I'm gonna stop. No one tells me what to do.
The guard, he took Sakul from you, and he just kind of flumped him down onto the bench next to him. And as he's trying to direct everyone, the guy across from you that's on the other side, he's obediently going. And you guys are, kind of turning a little bit, and the guard goes, "What are you doing? We need to get to land."
No one tells me what to do.
Right. And he hands you the megaphone, and he goes, "Give me the damn oar." And he sits down in your place.
And now I have the megaphone.
Yeah.
He's just throwing it in the ocean.
All right.
Why would I want to direct you either? I'm gonna sit back down.
All right, there you go. It takes some time, but eventually, all of you do end up getting to the shore of this island, and we, at that moment,
clipboard doesn't mean I work here.
Sorry.
Just because I have a clipboard doesn't mean I work here.
Well, you made everyone else think that.
Don't care.
You guys make it to the island, and you kind of all wash up on the beach, kind of close to the same spot that Arthur had initially landed. and you see all of these life rafts as everyone starts to kind of pile onto the beach and hug their loved ones and puke a little bit from air sickness or seasickness or both. We will cut back to Arthur, who has just gotten an entire minute to think about what he wants to do. You also, as you were, let's retcon this a little bit. You also just saw a massive fireball explode in the sky.
Not even gonna lie, haven't been thinking about anything to do with what Arthur's up to. So
okay,
but
okay.
you've
So
had
the
a
last
whole minute.
to be fair, now's a good time maybe to go refresh ourselves.
Well,
that's
I just
actually,
gave myself like 45 seconds. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
See? We'll see you guys in a bit.
And Arthur will have a plan.
Thanks again for sticking around with the Ret-Con-Artists. Don't forget you can check us out on Twitter at Ret-Con-Artists TV. We're going to jump right back into the episode. Take care. Lionhead Gaming with the host for 27 viewers. Thank you so much. How's it going, guys?
Hello.
Too bad we were.
No, it was just now. It was
Alerts.
perfect timing.
Sweet.
Very perfect timing. I really appreciate you guys coming in. We really appreciate you guys coming in.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
I brought popcorn.
Yeah.
Again,
Throw the
Nice.
popcorn at them.
I brought this guy.
Nice.
Wonderful.
I can share a Newfoundland cookie.
Only if you speak it in Newfoundland.
What do you mean Newfoundland? It's Newfoundland.
Newfie.
Not... Listen now.
Anyhow,
Newfoundland.
How bad can I do it?
Ret-Con-Artists.
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
And we welcome you guys all. Thank you so much for that very generous raid. Welcome into our halls of just stupidity and
Ret-Con
fun
things.
and Ret-Con-Artist things. If you guys like what you see, go ahead and join the Discord. We love to hang out with our viewers. We chat with them quite often in the Discord. And we like to get ideas from everyone, too. If you drop us a follow, we appreciate that. We'll mention you guys, and we will be adding more viewers into the story as we go. We like to give our faithful followers little shout outs within the story. So a lot of the names that you hear in the game are actually some of our followers. We play a persistent campaign that I think we're into episode 18 total now. There's various story arcs that we've done so far. And our wonderful cast members here. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves, starting with Tarbak?
Oh well, I'm Paul, or Straxus, or Tarvok, if you're being dirty. I'm a what?
What if I'm not?
I don't know. I guess you can just still call me Tarvok.
That's not.
I don't really know what else to say.
You are a Dwarven Ranger.
Oh, I guess we could go into that.
You
I'm a
could
Dwarven
go
Ranger. Yeah, no. Spectin the Hunter because it was better than Beastmaster. And there's lots of stuff with him. A lot of stuff that we haven't touched base on because we've just been busy.
Cool.
It's true.
All right.
We're not too far in.
Yeah. All of our
Who's
episodes,
next?
actually, on that note, also are all on YouTube and Spotify. If you guys want to catch up on the storyline, you're not going to miss anything by just jumping in now, but you can catch up on all the previous storyline from before, so you know who's who. Melindrock Tim, our sorcerer, why don't you introduce yourself?
Well, my name is Alex, or Galabad, whichever works, and I play Melindrock Tim, or
Tim, if you would like. Now, Tim is a half-elf sorcerer who he does what he wants. He doesn't give half a cent about other people's feelings. But somewhere he cares. Kinda.
Fair enough. I suppose we can move on to our next elven patron, and that is our moon elf, Vera. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm Vera. I am Josh. I am a slime mancer. That is about all.
Bjorn, our resident Smashy Smash big boy. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Ruthie. I'm a human cleric that smashes things.
named
I thought she was
Bjorn.
gonna stop right there.
She's a 6'7" tall,
Would have been
6'7"
the best.
tall man. All right, and finally we have Arathur Najima Taj.
Oof.
Tell us about yourself.
Just forgot the Shah.
Sorry, King.
Taj. Okay, DM.
Got
So
him.
Arthur is currently on the docks on an island, and you're gonna meet Arthur because that's where we left off, wasn't it?
Yes.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
what is Arthur exactly?
So Arthur is a tiefling. He's technically a bard, but he just kind of does his own thing. That's really about it for him.
Technically a bard. I like that.
He has to be a class of some sort. So
Truth. And my name is Ken. I am merely the DM, and we are about to jump back into it. So again, thank you guys so much for the follows. If you are dropping us a follow, we really appreciate that. Z, thank you for the host as well, my friend. I really appreciate that as well. Let's cut to Arthur on the shores of this small island where he has seemingly found a group of smugglers, or possibly pirates, or possibly something, who seem to have crates and crates full of materials and valuable items from his homeland. And last we left off, the boss wanted you to appraise some of the things for him, and you saw what was in there and said you needed a minute. So, you've had your minute, and then some.
So Arthur's standing at this dock, looking into this box of tiefling artifacts, and he's holding this ring that is his family's signet or whatever. How big is the box?
It's like
can you pick it up?
Yeah, it's like a 2 foot by 2 foot crate.
Okay, so Arthur is looking in this box, and he casts Tiny Hut.
Again?
Back at it again.
Yeah, he just casts Tiny Hut. And he just goes, "I need a minute!" And he yells out from inside. He starts like rustling through all of the things. And he's trying to find basically any magical items that could possibly, maybe something he knows is useful, something he knows to be an ancient thing that maybe they don't. So he's hoping to find something that could be in there that might help him out of this predicament, because yeah, he's in a predicament.
All right. Ooh. I'm kind of split on whether I would want this to be investigation or history.
I can roll them both, and you can figure it out from there.
Yeah, you know what? Roll me a combination of both, please.
Okay, green dice is investigation. Red dice is history.
Cool.
Not that you could see it. Okay, green dice, which was investigation, is 22.
Okay.
Red dice for history. Ooh, that's not good. It's only a 15 for the history.
Not bad.
That's not bad.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Not terrible.
Okay, give me a second here.
I mean, compared to a 22, I guess it's not that great, but
all right. Give me a quick second. Okay. Pardon me while I'm just looking through my tables here. Because you do find something.
Oh, go ahead.
You do find something. You've been digging through this crate, looking through a lot of the items, and while you cast your little protective shield hut, the boss is standing there, and he goes, What the hell are you doing? Like, why... Did you really need to do that?
You know it's polite to knock on someone's home and not just yell through the walls, right? Were you raised by rats?
Sort of. I'm not gonna get into that either, though.
Well, then you should know you don't just yell through the walls, you knock.
The people in my apartment complex beg to differ.
Sorry.
Mine too.
Cotty, thank you for the host. All right.
Just give me a minute. This is where my safe space is.
You find within this box you keep digging past all the big stuff, and much like when you put sand in a cup of rocks, it kind of, the small stuff filters to the bottom, and you start kind of pilfering through the small stuff, and you find a second ring, and give me a second.
Is it the one that summons his demon god?
Sort of.
I was hoping for.
It's kind of like that, actually. What you see on this ring, carved underneath this gem, it's a golden ring. It's very thick, as many rings from your homeland are, as people love to fill their fingers with rings. And this one is very thick and gold, and there's like a flat plane underneath a ruby gem. And through the gem, you can see carved into the gold itself is the head of almost like a demon-like ram that you recognize as one of the main deities from your culture. You pick up this ring, and you recognize it as something that actually you saw in one of the museums as a kid. It is the ring of the devil, or the devil of your culture. Name to be determined.
Jafar.
Fuck's sakes.
And full circle.
Full fucking circle, like a ring.
I like it. I like
You
it.
would.
The ring of Jafar has 3 charges. From what you recall, it had 1 charge that was used in the past. And it was used only in... The legend you recall is that there was a prince that was trapped behind a door, and there were people trying to keep him captive in order to either capture him or kill him in a coup. And he used the charge to blast the door and the people behind it back with the spectral ram that came out of the ring.
And his name was Prince Ali.
The spectral Jafar. Rafaj. So, when you wear the ring, you can expend one of the 2 remaining spells that will give you a spectral ram attack with a +7 hit bonus on a creature within 60 feet of you. On hit, you roll 6d10 force damage, and they can be pushed up to 50 feet away.
And how many targets can I hit at once?
Hold on, give me a second here.
It's like a herd of rams, like a one.
It's a massive ram. It's approximately 10 feet wide.
So it can hit a row of people.
It can hit a row of people if they're all within 10 feet.
Okay, Arthur grabs his ring and he finds it, and he puts on a whole bunch of other rings. By the way, like his hands covered in rings. But he picks up. He has the demon ring thing, and he's just kind of looking at it. He just goes, "Hello, you there?"
And you don't get a response, but
I know.
The ring definitely does feel warm to the touch.
Ah, so you are awake. Arthur's just kind of like talking to this ring, and he's just like, maybe he might be even driving himself mad. I don't even know at this point, but Arthur's just kind of like, really could use your help. I'm really sorry about last time. I promise I'll fix the window. He kind of like hold. And I imagine like it gets a little bit warmer, maybe. He's like, okay, and then like I imagine like if you'd allow it, maybe like some of the rings kind of starts changing a little bit of colors. like a little bit more of a darker red, like kind of indicating the ring is kind of like becoming active. Like whatever the connection is from this ring to maybe, that deity or that hellish thing, it kind of slowly kind of wakes itself up and kind of becomes active now that Arthur is kind of holding it and using his ties to that realm, I guess you could say.
Okay.
So he's like, okay. He kind of like shakes it a little bit, blows on it. Okay. He puts it on like the very tip of one of his fingers. He's got a bunch of rings on. It's like it barely fits. So he just kind of like puts it on the tip there, and he's just kind of like, there we go. And then he gets rid of the tiny hut. Just poof. It goes. It just pops.
Perfect.
Like a bubble.
And the boss is standing there still looking at you, and he still looks a little confused. He goes,
Arthur looks at the boss. Oh, go ahead.
What, is it good shit, or should we just pawn it? What do you think?
Arthur's got like a whole bunch of rings on. He's like, to be honest with you, this shit is worth a fortune.
His eyes just light up for a second. And he says, really? What pieces in particular? Like, I mean, if you like that ring, I'll take it as payment. I appreciate that. Can you kind of give me an idea of which pieces?
So, I'm gonna keep all of these rings I have on, okay?
Right.
Okay.
As you guys are still talking about this loot, most of the guys that were on the docks, I'm gonna say like 7 total. They've all just kind of meandered their way towards you.
All right. I imagine like right around this time, maybe the ship explodes. Right?
Yeah.
This is like that. This is that
Sure.
moment in the timeline where like just boom, right?
Yeah, we'll say that. Sure.
So Arthur just kind of like looks back over the water and sees this ship just exploding. Maybe he sees a little dot as Tim's falling or whatever. And
you do see eight things with parachutes attached to them falling through the sky.
Yeah. So Arthur turns and just kind of like looks over there. He just goes, "Shit!"
And the boss also
realize it was gonna
turns.
work.
He turns and he goes, "The hell just happened to that thing?"
Oh, you really don't want to know the answer to that. I really didn't think it was going to work.
What was going to work?
Well, that you just saw it, didn't you?
Yeah, that
And Arthur's like pointing at the exploding ship.
was that you?
I've been here the whole. He looks at the guy next to the boss. Have I been here the whole time?
Yeah, you have. Oh, okay. Well, what worked?
Anyway. They're on their way. We're gonna have to make do with what we got. This is what I need. And Arthur starts telling the 2 guys next to the boss to take the box and like bring it up the shoreline like a little bit, like kind of like towards where Arthur came from, I guess you could say.
Okay.
And then he starts telling 2 other guys to grab some weapons. He just kind of starts telling everyone to do shit, like get the food,
Okay.
get the ship
So you're
loaded.
kind of taking charge here. I want you to roll me we'll say a performance check to kind of make it look like you're now in charge of everything there, I suppose.
Arthur becomes an accidental drug lord.
You guys are gonna get there. He's got like scars on his face. All right, he rolled a 19 here.
All right.
You were gone for like an hour, and now you're gonna charge this like freaking gang.
He's got like a mountain of cocaine in front of him.
What took you so long?
And then part of the performance though. So after he starts like telling these guys to do things, and I imagine the boss is just like,
Yeah.
what do you do kind of thing. He just goes, listen.
Linda.
Listen. Okay. I'm not taking your crew. I'm not trying to step on any toes here. All I'm doing is trying to lend my services. So if you'll allow me, you are the boss. I think they all understand that, and so do I. But let me do what I gotta do. He kind of like leans real close when he says it and kind of leans back.
Okay, roll persuasion on that one for me, please.
Okay, what did I roll so far? 19, and
On
then
a performance
persuasion
for the other guys, yeah.
will be an 8.
All right,
He
so
did a really good job.
he really did, Bjorn.
Can I-
Does
can I
it
get,
really need to be
can
that
I
big
get an
if he did a
advantage?
good job?
Can I donate a point of inspiration?
Do I want to give you advantage on this? No,
Can
I think we're gonna stick with the 8 here.
All right, what do you got, Ken?
So, as the boss's eyes kind of glaze over while you're going through this whole spiel of yours, and everyone's actually like following your directions around him, he puts a hand up and he goes, "Hold on!" And everyone stops what they're doing in their tracks, and they just kind of put their stuff down for a second, shimmy towards you guys. The boss goes, "You don't tell my guys what to do."
Well, I'm not telling them what to do. I'm telling
That's
them how
right,
to do
you're
it.
not telling them what to do. So here's the deal. You get inside the shack. All of my guys do what he said, be ready, but I want you guys closer to here for whatever the fuck just happened over there.
Like I said, you don't want to know.
I'm gonna go, and he points to the 2 guys that brought you in. He says, "I'm gonna take you 2 dweebs, and we're gonna go see what the hell happened on the other shoreline."
Oh, well that... No, you don't want to do that.
And why wouldn't I want to do that?
Well, that's my part of the shore.
Oh, your part. You own
Well,
that part.
We had this conversation earlier. My family, the wars and the slaughtering and the blah, 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 blah. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Not to say you can't come visit, but now's not a good time. And he points at the exploding ship. I have a better idea. I have a much, much better idea.
Okay, let's hear it.
We hide in the trees. Yes, it would work. I could cast a spell. And they won't even know we're there.
I got an idea, man. We're gonna hide in the trees.
Got an idea. Great idea. I second this.
Terrible.
Arthur now has like a necklace on he somehow found and put on from the box.
But you're not gonna be casting any shit because I still don't trust you.
Well, they're not to trust. And Arthur now has like an earring from somewhere.
Well, here's the deal. I'll get my guys to hide in the trees, but you're staying with me, and we're gonna go in the shack and wait to see what happens. You 2,
The shack.
he points to the other dweebs, sorry. He points to the 2 dweebs again. He says, "You 2, go do what I just told you to do. Go check the other side of the island, and we'll have guys ready for whatever you bring back."
I have to give them the footpath. Otherwise, the thing... Have you ever seen a man get eaten?
No. But you're coming with me in the shack. Let's go.
We should go with them. It's gonna be amazing when they get eaten.
Your persuasion was an 8. He is not going with you.
Doesn't mean he's not trying.
Yeah, no, that's fair. He says, "Alright, you're gonna get in the shack with me or I'm gonna bitch slap you and then take you in the shack with me."
It was nice to meet... I'm sorry. What did you say?
Let's go. Before I get mad.
Did you call me a name, sir? Arthur's trying to figure out how close the boat is that was like floating down.
No, I didn't call you a name. And the rafts are probably getting pretty close to shore at this point.
Do you understand that we're sitting here squabbling over meaningless things and then they're descending on us from the heavens? Do I look like I belong in heaven to you? And Arthur like makes his crown a little
sort
bit
of
red and...
But I'm not gonna get into that again. Let's go to the shack before I slap you.
And I imagine this is where the guy like turns to go in and Arthur's still kind of just talking to his back.
Yeah.
He's just like, yeah, but that was an amazing compliment. No one's ever said I look like an angel.
And he turns and he disciplines you. He doesn't abuse, he disciplines you right on your left cheek.
Do I take a point of damage?
No, it's not enough to hurt you, but he definitely just backhanded you. Like,
okay, so
he was keeping his pimp hand strong.
And for flavor, I guess, like Arthur tries to bring on the rebuke of the hellish nature, I guess you could say. And so he slaps Arthur, and Arthur just kind of these flames just kind of start appearing, I guess in poofs of smoke maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of around him, he's and his eyes kind of go red instead of the crystal kind of gold eyes that he normally has. And yeah, so the flames kind of come out and he looks a little bit more demonic. And I imagine the ring that he has on his finger with the ram kind of even glows a little bit more of a solid color, and Arthur's just kind of looking at it. And I guess if I can, I'd like to try and intimidate him, just not to scare him, but to get him to never do that again, kind of thing. Make him think twice.
Sure,
maybe.
Yeah. Roll me an intimidation then, please.
Rolled an 8. A little bit more smoke than it was fire, maybe.
What's with your 8s tonight?
I don't know. This is green dice, maybe. Using the red one.
Sorry. He he resists that, and he follows up with a second bitch slap, but this time it's open hand across your other cheek, and he uses a little more force. What's your armor class?
11. Oh shit! I had a point of inspiration. I should have used that.
Hindsight's 50-50, man.
All right.
You take 2 points of blunt damage from his palm.
Okay, how close is the ship now, or the team? I guess you could say.
You can't see them over the tree line anymore, so I don't know where they are exactly at this point, but they're definitely splashed down or just about at the shore.
Okay.
They can't see you from the other side of the island, remember? You came through a forest path.
Oh, I know. Okay. No, I'm just trying to think of what to do next, I guess you could say. Arthur is, you know what? No, he's gonna follow the guy into the shack. Yeah, all right, so he gets slapped. Arthur. Let's go. Actually, Arthur walks past the guy to go into the shack first.
All right. He follows you guys in, and as you open up the rickety, kind of old school Baja style door, you see a table inside with few bottles of booze, deck of cards, few lanterns burning, few bedrolls on the ground. Just looks like an average shack for these heathens that you've come across. Dartboard on the wall, stuff like that.
Dartboard on the wall. Okay, so as soon as we get inside, Arthur kind of stands at the door, and he says, boss man, could you come here for a moment?
And he goes, don't call me boss man. My name is Quentin.
All right, Quentin, come here for just a moment.
Okay. And he comes over to you.
I want to show you something that is quite fascinating.
What now? You're testing my patience, dude. And you hear the footsteps of all the guys running into the bushes outside.
Just come here for a moment. What's this shack made out of?
Rickety wood plank.
Okay, perfect. So Arthur, he goes, I want to show you what this ring.
Oh god.
And why it is the most valuable piece that is in this box. And Arthur kind of he glows a little bit more red. Maybe. Okay. He waits for this guy to get right up on the ring.
Your hand up, he just kind of leans his face towards it, and he's like, what about it? And he kind of goes to reach for a torch on the wall there.
Yeah, and then as soon as he gets right on the ring, and they're both just kind of looking at it, he's like, do you see that image of a goat?
Yeah.
And Arthur goes, He kind of like shakes the ring. He's like, now.
And like half a second,
now,
the guy's like,
goes off.
yeah. Half a second goes, and the guy's like, "What the hell are you?" And then, boom, and your hand like jerks back, and he just gets fucking blasted through the other side of the cabin wall, and it shatters. It like the whole wall shatters away, and the roof kind of caves in a little bit, and you just the last thing you see of Quentin is him like legit just flying straight back and skipping like a stone across the water of the ocean. Roll me your 60-10, please.
And Arthur just goes, "Goodbye now," as he kind of like flies away. And Arthur kind of like, now I'm looking for D6s, by the way. I only have 4. How many do I roll? 6?
Yeah, 60-10 or 10d6, sure.
Both.
It's both.
I guess it doesn't matter. I'll roll 10d6s then, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
It is different.
Is it different?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, pick one. Yeah, because of the numbers.
All right, 60.
So I can roll a lot lower with the 60 10s. Okay,
yeah.
Hang on. So Arthur's like looking at this goat though. He's just kind of like, "Listen, thank you, but this doesn't make us even. You still owe me."
And the ring does not talk back to you. It's a ring.
Arthur just keeps talking to it though.
Okay.
Where's all my fucking D10s? Okay, here's one. I never use D10s like for anything. Okay, 60 10s. Here we go. I'm gonna roll 2 at a time.
Okay.
Okay, that's a 6. That's 12.
Mm-hmm.
20 total. 34 total.
34. Okay. Perfect. That's all I needed to know. You see, as he's flying back, the force of this massive spiritual astral head that's like charging and shoving him backwards hits him so hard that one of the pillars of the shack, his arm hits against it and like snaps backwards, and he just like spins as he goes out to the water, and that's what causes him to just skip across the water. And before the roof caves in, the last thing you see is him just like skimming it.
Okay,
and,
bye. And everything just kind of collapses on Arthur.
And this faint red astral spiritual head just kind of keeps going behind him, and then holy crap, that's loud outside. Like with that noise, like swoops up into the sky and just flies up like 100 feet into the sky, and then just dissipates into the air. And back on the other side of the island, you guys are just landing on the beach when you see this massive ram's head fly up into the air.
I'm going to it.
So, is there ever a time where we can just go somewhere and not see giant spectral goat heads?
When's the last time you've seen a big spectral goat head?
I don't know, but there's a dead, weird, gross, flabby thing out in the water there. I mean, it's just as weird as a giant fucking spectral goat head.
Tarbach talks about what matters.
Can we just go already? Let's. Where's Vera? Where's Tim?
I think Bjorn already ran off, didn't he?
Started marching through the forest already.
Just bushwhacking.
I don't even know why I try. So I just follow Bjorn.
Tarbach sounds like a very like disappointed dad. He's just like
I don't want to go.
So I'm not mad, but I am disappointed in you.
Tarbach, Bjorn's like father is like, God dang
surrogate father.
Stop running ahead.
Bjorn, now look, I know you're bigger than me and I'm not your real father, but you have to treat me with respect.
He looks down at him.
Put the brick down.
Okay.
Your God can't help you when you live under my roof.
We also need to address where the hell a Melendrock is. Tim, you and Dimitri and Captain Exo had tried making yourselves close to the land, but you're actually you came up a bit short. You guys splashed down very gently, mind you, in the water, and you are all just kind of floating there, hanging out, trying to make your way towards the land that you still see. Is there anything that you can do to help your situation out?
Swim faster.
All right. Okay, it's going to take you some time to get there, but when you do, your party is going to be likely gone already. I'll just preface that, I guess. Vera, what are you doing then if Bjorn and Tarvok are launching into the woods?
Oh, well, I mean, that's my group. I will go with them.
Those are my friends. All right.
Vera's probably just like, wait.
What the fuck are you guys doing?
We just landed.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess to like look behind, like all the people, like it's like this isn't exactly why we're here, but you know, it kind of sucks just leaving everyone. Whatever. Okay, bye.
They're fine.
Maybe look at the slimes gathering sand.
They're all just like pushing it together in a pile, and
yeah,
that's funny. All right, so you guys make your way to the tree line, and it's not too hard to find the path that leads to the other side of the island. You walk for maybe about 3 or 4 minutes, and I need to check your sheets. Give me a second here.
Did you run into those guys that were coming towards the shoreline?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I sure would like to give them a good old talking to.
Sorry, give me a quick second here. Vera and Bjorn.
What?
Just need to make sure. Okay. As you guys are all walking through the trails, Vera and Bjorn, you spot them first.
Get out of the trees.
Tarvok, you don't see anything with your passive perception.
Wait, we see people in the trees?
You do. By the time you start to get close to that camp, through that trail, I don't think there were any remnants that Arthur left behind on the trail. Were there, Max, from what I recall?
I mean, you'd see what looks like drunken footsteps as Arthur kind of like snuck around and walked shit like that. Because he was acting like a complete and total idiot with this guy.
True.
With those two guys. So, yeah, that.
Okay, well, nothing really stands out on the trail, except for by the time you reach towards the camp there, and you guys notice various figures up in the trees of this jungly forest.
Why are you in the trees?
You hear, yeah, why are we in the trees? Shut up!
Is it because of the goat?
The what? Shut up! That boss told us to hide in the trees.
Can we speak to your boss?
There's no one here. Banana. Coconut.
There's no one here.
How tall are the trees?
Like, all right, guys, no one's here.
About 15 feet tall, I would say. Like, you can pretty easily see these guys. They're not that stealthy. There's a couple of guys even down on the bush line too. There's about 7 of them total, and you hear them kind of arguing with them. You hear like a, well, I guess you blew our cover, idiot. And one of the guys walks out. What are you guys doing here?
Shh. Run.
Oh god.
But yeah.
Nobody.
Our ship exploded. Does it look like?
Yeah, we saw that. What?
It right then hits the
What's that
water
about?
behind Bjorn as he's pointing back at it. Like, our ship is
I pointed it.
Yeah.
I was on that.
You just see steam start rising from out in the ocean.
Now there was a giant goat head. I assume that it was weird.
Well,
and
we heard something. We didn't see it. Where did you see a goat head? We were watching for you guys or whoever was on that ship.
Look at Tarbok. I'm looking at Tarbok now.
What?
These guys are dumber than I am.
I think we're all just a little confused here. So, why
were you waiting for the people on the boat?
And the one guy doesn't know what to say now, and the other one slaps him again, and he goes, "You're done talking."
You talk to this guy now.
We're old.
Are you the boss?
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
I'm assistant to the regional boss.
Regional?
Yeah.
I think he means like this region of the ocean, Bjorn.
Yeah, that guy.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, got it. All right.
And pretty sure. You know what? If I remember correctly, we're in like the Dunder Strait, right?
I think that's kind of close to where we are. And he says, "But listen, like, if you keep talking," he talks to the other guy. He says, "I'm gonna fire you," and the other guy goes, "You don't have hiring or firing power."
I'm gonna call HR. This is abuse.
Anyways, and he says, "Well, like, so yeah, I guess I'm technically the boss now, but like, we were waiting for you guys because we're army vets. Yeah, we're ex-army vets, and we're having worries that maybe you guys are like paratroopers or something because we've had to deal with paratroopers and I don't know, we just want to make sure you're not gonna kill our family."
This does not sound believable in any way.
That's the point.
eyes have glazed the fuck over.
And so we just wanted to protect our women and children, you know, in our little camp back there. And
he's like, okay. Well, we're not. Tarbok, what's a paratrooper?
I think it's kind of like the old Griffin riders, and they just jump off their griffins. It seems stupid to me. Hey Vera, your slime friends are okay, right? Like they're hungry, right?
They haven't eaten in quite a while, actually.
So, listen there, gentlemen. We've got this lovely trio of slimes here with our friend, and they're going to eat like everything around here. Do you have any food back at your camp that we could purchase from you to keep them happy?
And the one guy pipes up again. And he goes, "Yeah, we got tons of like coconut and some pork." And he goes, "Shut up!" And he smacks him again. He goes, "I will fucking tell the boss."
Did you know though that slimes really love coconut? It's all hard and furry and not, so they love it.
And you see the one guy's kind of wanting to talk again, but he's holding his tongue.
Like people.
And they say, "Well, I mean, you guys seem alright, I guess. You could, yeah, I mean, you could come back, and as long as you don't go in the huts and bother our loved ones, like our women and children, you just hang out on the beach.
We wouldn't dream of it.
Okay,
not even a little bit. I don't even like women and children."
And he turns to the other guy. He sees,
the Tarbok just looks at him like, "I didn't know."
I don't believe in women and children.
And he turns to the other guy and he goes, "See, now that's why I'm the boss. All right, guys, come on, let's go." He tries to whistle and he like rounds them up with stupid hand signals, and everyone's like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Can I whistle really loud for him?
Use your thaumaturgy.
Yeah, sure.
I have the trip of cans.
Okay, go ahead.
Don't trip on it.
You cast your
ear-piercingly loud whistle, just as loud as I can possibly make it.
And while everyone,
how loud can you possibly make it, Lou?
I don't know. I just want it as loud.
I don't think it's that loud.
Let's hear.
No, I mean, like, can you just like whistle for us as loud as you can?
Oh, I can't do that. No, I'm not going to. Now I'm.
I can. I just don't want to.
I
It
don't
would be
want
quite
to.
loud.
I don't want to hurt your
Holy
guys'
shit.
ears or anything like that.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I can do a little.
Beauty.
I can scream real loud. Can that count?
Whistle! Whistle noise.
Let's just say you whistle real fucking loud and call it at that. You you pierce the ears of all these guys around you as they're kind of shrugging at the boss man, and they stop what they're doing and they just kind of snap to and start walking back towards camp. You guys all make your way back towards camp. Arthur, you heard that same whistle
Yeah,
while you're standing in this torn up shack.
Arthur's just laying there underneath all this shit. He's just like, I am pretty tired. And then he hears the whistle and he's like, God damn it, Bjorn. And he's kind of like looking around, you know, like underneath all this rubble, and he's kind of like pushing the leaves off of him and the planks. And like he kind of like waits for everyone to start walking over the hill, I guess you could say, back to the camp. And he looks down and he sees like a charm that maybe fell off of the boss's like belt or sword or something. He's like, ooh, he picks it up. And he bursts out of the rubble. He just kind of looks at all the men coming over the hill and everything. He's like, I see we have prisoners. And he holds up like the charm and he's like, I am the boss now. And he kind of like stares at everybody.
I'm gonna be like, Arthur, you were gone for an hour.
Has it been that long? I mean, we have prisoners. Get on the ship. Put them on the ship.
As your group of people start making their way up towards you and they hear you say that you're the boss now, the assistant to the regional boss stops in his tracks and he goes, wait, what? Why are you holding Quentin's pants button? What? How are you the boss now?
Wait, hold on a moment. This is a lovely... Where did you guys get these?
I'm gonna look at the regional boss, like, really confused. And then to Tarvok, really confused.
Don't look at me. I've been here as long as you have.
We have lost video connection with Tarvok for some reason.
We have.
Hold on. That's alright.
It's okay.
I can adjust.
Oh.
It's gonna reorder us then.
Oh, jeez.
I'm Vera now.
There we go.
There we
Tim.
go.
See my slime.
I will adjust this. I will adjust this while I talk. All right.
I think
You're
I'm still
better
Turbo.
Bjorn than I am.
Let me tell you all about slime.
No one
slime
could be a
culture.
better Bjorn. Oh, that slime's a slime gold.
Oh my
See,
goodness.
so the blue ones.
I'm gonna go invisible
like
now.
acorns. I'm invisible.
You can't go invisible. You're on a second level spell slots.
Ooh.
Fireball! Third level fireball.
Okay, you got that one.
Oh god, I'm moving everyone now. Oh god.
Oh my
Everyone.
gosh.
Oh no.
There we go. We're good. I got it.
I'm Tim now.
That was actually pretty good.
I loved it. Believe in my computer skills, everyone. Yes. Excellent.
Do-do-do-do.
Excellent. I love Zoom. Zoom loves me. Now I'm sweaty. The nerves got me, folks.
That was so difficult.
Just shake it off, Ken. Just shake it off.
We
You aren't
believe
wearing
in
enough
you.
gear to be that sweaty.
No, I'm not. All right. Beautiful. Okay, so the assistant to the regional boss turns and says, well, last time we were mainland, my mom made him a special pair of pants. They seem to have like a...
Jesus.
You are gonna have to give me her information. This is...
Where is Quentin?
Oh, he went across the sea.
What?
Arthur like winks at Bjorn. just to like try to like let him know that like Arthur is all there. He's just kind of, trying to do something, I guess.
Fair enough.
Or to be ready, I guess, like to be ready. Maybe the wake represents kind of like
all right,
welcome back.
And so the guy continues. He goes, all right, dude. Well, I mean, you seem to be pretty strong, but I was the next in line to be the boss. I'm the assistant
hang on a
to the
moment.
boss. Okay.
I see what you're saying there, but you see, the line starts from the ocean. And he turns and looks at the ocean. He goes, "Who is next, closest to the ocean?" And Arthur kind of puts his hand up.
It is the rules.
Roll persuasion.
Okay.
And do it with advantage since Bjorn just said it is the rules. That will be a bit of an assist for you.
Since I'm the big beefy man.
Yeah. Who whistled super loud.
22.
Hey.
Thank you for the advantage.
And
Do we have a gang now?
And the guy.
Oh god.
And the guy,
We're just gonna stay on this island.
the regional assistant to the boss, just kind of goes, "Well, I mean, that's not fair."
No, hold on now. Don't.
Big hand on his shoulder and say, "I'm sorry. It's just the rules.
Oh my
It's
God.
nothing personal. But you
Yeah.
did a great job.
Fucking there it is.
And we are so proud of you."
We are. The big man is not wrong in that. You have done wonderful things.
Okay.
Round of applause, everyone.
So
You all have done wonderful things.
So do I have hiring and firing power now?
We'll discuss that in your next performance review, but I think for now your step one will be to get more of these pants and these buttons.
Okay, I'll write home to Mom. And he glares over at the other guy again that he threatened to fire earlier. He goes, okay, so like if I'm just like by the ocean and you happen to, I don't know, spontaneously combust or something, does that
Then
mean
you
I'm
will
a-
die.
That's not cool. Okay, I'm gonna go right to Mom. And he
Listen,
kinda
we are not
scurries
going to
to one of
tolerate
the other shacks.
negativity on the beach. If you have a complaint, you will see HR.
And a guy in the back goes,
And-
hi!
Yeah, you. Actually, yeah, you. You are now VP of HR. I do not know what I'm talking about. Come on, everybody. Come over here. Get the prisoners on the ship. We have things to do.
Prisoners?
Whatever they are. I don't, welcome. You're guests now.
Okay.
Beer is gonna like scoot over to close to Arthur so she can whisper, Arthur, well, where's the princess?
I'm sorry, who? Oh! Oh, yes, the little one.
You know, the one you jumped off the ship with.
I have quite the story to tell you. Did you know that she enjoyed it? It was amazing, the child's laughter. And Arthur just kind of like stands there. But yes, no, she was safe. About an hour ago. I imagine she might still be. I left her with two lovely dwarves on the other side of the island.
Great.
I see why that doesn't sound as perfect as I thought it might have been.
At
Perhaps
this
we should go
time,
get her.
At this time, Tim is just reaching the shore with Exo and Dimitri Cote. Tim, I'm imagining you just kind of like laying back, casting levitate on yourself, and just holding on to one of them as they swim or something like that.
Hold on, let me check the levitate. There might be a reason that wouldn't be happening. And that would be because I'm out of second level spell slots.
Ah, damn, that would have been amazing.
Oh,
Anyways,
poop.
so you've all reached the shoreline, and Captain Exo has been muttering under his breath the whole time about how he's a failure and how he hates himself for what he's done, and he should just stick to being a pirate, and how he hates the fact that he's gotta be all nicey nice all the time. And he seems to have a bit of a switch in his persona now. He's like, customer.
I'm assuming we're on the shore now.
Yes.
Is everybody like regain themselves, or did they just get there and everybody's kind of exhausted?
Everyone's kind of regained themselves, and they're all just kind of hanging out on the beach. And it seems actually that the husband and wife dwarf. Does anybody remember their names? I swear I wrote it down here.
No, I don't.
I swear I wrote it down.
Mr. and Mrs. Dwarvenson.
Murdoch.
Yeah.
I thought Arthur made a point not to ask them their names. I remember not wanting to know them.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I remember like not wanting to know as part of like his demeanor, I guess. So Arthur just didn't care.
All right. Well, Mr. and Mrs. Dwarvenson have made a bunch of finger sandwiches for everybody, and they're just kind of.
So everybody's there.
Yeah, and they're.
Oh yeah, that's right.
There.
Because everybody else showed up. Right.
Yes, and everyone's just kind of taking sandwiches from the Dwarvensons, and the princess is having fun handing them out and kind of talking up the people and keeping their spirits high without even meaning to. She's just a sweet little thing, and they're all just kind of like latching onto her and just, super, super thankful that she's there.
I'm assuming the guards that, were on the rafts are kind of like, oh, okay, back on the job.
Yeah, they're definitely...
Or the ones that are at least still loyal.
Yeah, all the other ones that were dressed as guards are somewhere in the ocean, most likely. They're probably dead or swimming with the ghouls and harpies, as well as they can swim in those cages. That you guys are horrible people for killing innocent creatures like that. God.
Yeah.
I had nothing to do with it.
Darn, they're dead, and we don't have to fight them.
Anyway.
So as Tim hears the captain muttering this kind of stuff, he's gonna bonk him on the head with the cane.
Okay.
Just like.
Do you not realize that your crew is still here?
Most of them, I can't trust them now.
I've got a feeling we'll find out about the rest of that. However, I believe your duty is to the princess, no?
Aye, she is but a girl. And he kind of moves over to the princess and takes her by the hand and he says, "Little one, I can't express how sorry I am." And the little girl just kind of like pulls him down, whispers something in his ear, pecks him on the cheek, and he stands up and he blushes and he's kind of half smiling again.
The rug should also be with her. Remember right? If I remember
the rug
correctly.
is hanging.
I told
out
the
with
rug
her,
to hang on to her.
Yeah, and she's like dragging it along in the sand.
Probably pretending to be a cape when she lets go.
Yeah.
So after seeing all of this, Tim kind of just looks at Dimitri and he goes,
I think you might be able to make something out of the remaining ships that we have here in case we need to, leave.
Dimitri looks at the boat that the old dwarven man was working on and he goes,
"No, Tim was pointing to the rafts, like."
Oh, I see what you mean. Sorry, I thought
because
there was a lot of them.
Now.
Okay, yeah. Dimitri looks at him and he goes, "It'll probably take a couple days, but
No, trust me, friend. It looks like we have time."
I agree. And he nods and smiles. He's still a little drunk. And you walk along the beach and you see Glavius Sakul being tended to by one of the medic guards, and he's now awake, and his wife and remaining son, as we refer to him as, are sitting next to him, comforting him as they're tending to the wound on his head, and he's just happy to be alive with what's left of his family, it seems. And he sees you and locks eyes with you as you're walking by and just gives you a quick nod.
Tim will nod back.
All right.
And so then Tim is going to go up to the princess
Thank you, guy
and
who did nothing.
But take all of my money. Yeah. All right.
Then Tim's going to walk over to the princess and he'd be like,
Excuse me, Your Majesty, did you happen to see which way everyone went?
And she just looks up at you and goes, points off into the distance.
And Tim just walks away.
Okay. All right.
I'm assuming there's like footprints and something because I'm
sure
that
you find the same trail
exactly
again.
as...
Again, there's only the one trail on this small island.
I was sneaking.
No. I figured.
Arthur has found a big ass blue sweet captain's jacket, and he's totally wearing it.
And you hear from the distance, you hear, "Oi! Boss! Someone's coming!" As Tim starts to make his way through the trail towards the camp.
Are you telling me we could see him?
Aye?
And it's not Tim! Everyone ready your weapon! He turns around and oh, I know him. That's a melondrock. I'll explain it to you one day.
What's a melondrock?
I just said... God, somebody...
Hi, Tim!
Get back to... And Arthur turns and, like, yeah, he looks at the rest of the group and kind of, like, waves at Tim, wearing, like, this sweet-ass blue captain's jacket.
I have a feeling it's, like, kind of got a little bit of moth-eaten effect to it. Like, it's
yeah,
cool, but it's a little
it's
torn
sweet,
up.
But it's old and, yeah, like, weather-worn and, yeah.
For those who want to draw some fan art...
Do you think we found some drink?
Oh, definitely.
Well, there's what, 2 big ships, right?
Yeah, there's 2
so I imagine there's water and
Mm-hmm.
there's all kinds of water and shit on them. Also, is the crew loading up all the stuff into the boats?
They've been
like I told them to.
organizing the stuff as they had originally been doing. Yeah.
Oh man, if there are like fucking trinkets and things, Vera and the slimes are gonna be all over that.
Hold on a moment.
I'm the boss.
I'm the boss. So Arthur explains to Vera that there are trinkets that belong to his people. It kind of shows her where those are and basically explains, like, let's not take those because I'll probably get very, very mad. You know, just like explaining, like, these are sentimental to him, so maybe don't mess with those ones.
She's like, and then the other 10 crates that are, she's like, that's fine.
Yeah, I imagine this one. You surround it by fucking gems and
I can imagine there's just giant sparkles in her eyes. Okay, not that one.
Arthur also now has on like 15 necklaces. Just, like, loaded. And
does your chain hang low?
Yeah, it definitely does. No, but he's got like all these rings on, his chains. He's got like some earrings in his ear now. He's just having a good old time dressing up. But so he kind of waves over everybody though. Maybe we all meet around Vera. Oh my god, I always pronounce the name wrong. Like around like one of the boxes while she's kind of like, ooh, this one, ooh, this one, ooh, this one.
I was gonna sit down and cast detect magic also.
Okay.
Okay.
So
yeah, while you're doing that, he Arthur goes, he looks at all you guys and he's like, I don't have a fucking damned clue how to sail a ship. Do any of you know how many people it takes? Okay, how many people do we need per ship to make it work?
He's like,
I don't actually know. Do any of you know how to swim?
At this point, Tim's kind of just walked out of the jungle and he's like brushing the stuff off of him.
He waited for you to get there. But yeah.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Yeah. But yeah, so you did all that and then you caught up to us.
So Tim kind of looks at everybody and upon hearing this, he goes,
you know we still have a ship captain, right? Who probably will know how to...
Oh, by the way, Arthur, everyone's alive.
Well...
No way.
That isn't dead.
Everyone's alive and isn't dead.
Hell yeah.
There's one thing I still have not gotten used to, and it's how much sense you actually make most of the time.
So
he kind of like pats like Bjorn in the chest, like, good job.
I'm gonna pat him on the head, like, I've missed you.
Kind of on Bjorn's point, a lot of the staff from the airship is still with us.
There's not much difference between the air and the sea.
Well,
with a boat.
One's a gas and one's a liquid.
So I'd imagine fundamentally they're different, but in
we're
this
just
case,
gonna say Bjorn is right.
Yeah, no.
I think good job, Bjorn. And he does it. He goes to pat Bjorn again, but stops himself. He's like, my head hurts. So
the only thing about that though, before we start trying to like turn the gears here, not only is the crew safe, but most of the passengers are fine as well.
Okay, so now we have the problem of overcrowding. I think I have an idea for this.
Yeah,
so would we have
but I was
seen...
hoping to have one in that moment.
So we saw the other the dwarves. We would have saw that they had a ship too, right?
Well, a busted down one that was kind of up on a rack right now that's being worked on.
So the other dwarves have a ship too that we could probably patch up.
Yeah, in regards to getting ships moving, we do have an engineer back at the other shore.
Yeah.
Just
his crew.
bring this to your attention. We are members of the maintenance department. Bevington does have the other, I guess, teleporting sphere. Why don't we just shoot him a message and see what we can do?
Can I speak to him?
Hold on a moment. We don't want to quite get all official quite yet.
Darn. Oh, right. This is our walkie-talkies. I pull out the other one.
I have to first get our business off the ground here. Come with me. Come with me. And he calls for all of the people that are part of like that group to come over to all of us.
Well, you need a name, don't you?
Get thinking. I don't have one.
As far as your company goes.
So does everyone kind of crowd around? He's trying to get all the crew members of like the pirate group or whatever.
Yeah, everyone's
go for it. Boost your people's morale.
I have my clipboard, and I'm the official.
So everyone kind of crowds around, and Arthur kind of like puts his hands behind his back and does like a captain's walk, like in front of them.
Attention!
Like, all my life, I have hoped to become the Lord of the Seas and the Captain of Men. And he kind of like keeps pacing back and forth, and he says, with my friends here, we have decided that we are going to keep you all as part of our crew.
I'm gonna look at the others just real quick. I'm like, okay.
A big cheer goes, "Ah!" of the like 7 or 8 guys that are still there, and they're like, one's like, "We should celebrate."
Hold on now, not yet. So here's how we're gonna do this. I need to be paid. They need to be paid. And we have 2 ships, and all of you. I think how we're gonna do this. We're gonna take one, you guys take the other. But what that means is I am now an admiral. What that also means is one of you now need to become captain of your own ship.
And and the guy that was being threatened to be fired, his hand like shoots up.
There are 3 things I do not like. One of them, eagerness. And the third thing on my list of things that I do not like is definitely someone with horrible body odor.
And the guy with his hand up, he goes, "What was the second thing you don't like?"
Question.
People who miss the things I say, obviously.
Oh! Face palms himself.
So
at this moment, actually, I'm just gonna. At this moment, I'm imagining you're like at the end of the dock, and they're all just kind of lined up there listening to you, right? You hear a splash behind you, as with one hand, Quentin pulls himself back up onto the dock.
Can I step on his hand?
You're lined up with the rest of the crew at this moment, and he at the very.
Darn.
Oh no, they're lined up behind me.
Oh, behind you? I thought you were at the end of the dock.
Me. No, they are. So the maintenance group here.
I definitely didn't
move
from casting my spell.
Okay. So yeah, I'm sorry. So
I'm not lining up. I have a clipboard. I'm supposed to look official.
Yeah.
All right.
So I was like pacing in between the 2 groups, I guess you could say.
Okay.
That's how I was picturing it. I mean, if you want to alter that, you can. But that's just
so. Which end of the dock are you on? Land end or sea end?
I'd be on dock end, sea end, because we would have gotten off the ship. Then I called everyone.
So he's
over,
like right next to you, still, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess you could say that. Yeah.
So he pulls himself up onto the dock, and he goes, "All of you, Attack this piece of shit! And he starts charging towards you, Arthur. He's about 20 feet away.
Is he within line of sight from Tim? Is there anybody behind, between Tim and this guy?
Between Tim and you is Arthur.
Okay,
Arthur
Tim's going to get to the other side of this guy, and he's just going to cast Lightning Bolt on him.
Oh,
some magic
Ow.
stuff right here.
Ow.
All right.
I want to get like in front of Arthur too, but I would let him do his thing.
It's
And
100
then-
foot long and 5 feet wide.
I'll let
If he's
Tim
on a
do
straight
his...
dock.
Yeah, I'll let Tim do his thing, but if he fails somehow,
Okay. Is that a roll to hit, or is that a...
or a dex.
You gotta... Hold on.
It should be a roll to hit.
What is it? Lightning?
Bolt.
Lightning Bolt.
That's third, right?
Yep.
Or...
Vera is going to cast Counterspell at 3rd level on the Lightning Bolt.
Seriously?
Oh.
Rude.
Wait, I thought you were in the ship doing detect magic.
I mean, I'm on the dock with you guys.
Yeah. Going through the boxes.
Oh, I thought the boxes were on the ship.
Interesting.
And they got mixed up.
Interesting.
Oh, lightning. Okay.
I'm gonna say that Vera's within sight of this. I'm gonna allow that. Okay.
I mean, it's 60 feet.
Yeah. Okay. So you cast Counterspell on Lightning Bolt.
Yeah, and then I'll like be like, and like stand up, and like walk over to everybody, and be like,
well, this guy's still charging Arthur.
I'm getting in the way now. I'll get in the way and let him hit me so I can lightning bolt him myself.
I mean, does he have a weapon? Like,
I think he's just going to tackle Arthur.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's
everyone else is kind of standing there wide-eyed at what's going on.
Arthur hasn't broken his like posture. He's just like waiting for this guy to get near him.
Bjorn,
Bjorn steps in front, I assume.
The problem is I didn't state exactly where you guys were in distance beforehand, so I'll allow that. Okay, Bjorn, you step in front.
Can I intimidate him just by being me? And thaumaturgy? Like, I'm gonna stand there, I'm gonna put my hands over my chest like this, and I'm just gonna make lightning spark from my eyes. Because Thor, you know.
Okay, yeah, roll me an intimidation then.
Say that, and can I minor illusion that? Maybe I'm the one who created that effect if she can't do it.
I have thaumaturgy.
Thaumaturgy will be able to do that, but just roll intimidation. Sorry.
I got a 19.
All right. So
yeah, 19.
Quentin, he stops when he sees this massive dude, probably about equal size and height, step in front of Arthur, who's just like standing there all.
No, they're
stoic.
behind his back.
Oh, okay, yeah. Chin up in the air.
Postured up.
Crowns turned into a floating captain's hat.
It is actually, yeah. It's like a black and like, yeah, it looks like a captain's hat.
And Quentin stops. He is definitely startled by the sight of this massive lightning dude in front of him, but he's still pissed.
If and nobody else like starts talking, Vera's gonna speak up after.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, there is a moment where everything just goes still for a second, and Vera.
Yeah, Vera like kind of walks up to everybody and is like, "I'm sorry, Tim, but we're
not friends.
A maintenance department, and this is not what we're supposed to be doing. We had a mission, and we shouldn't have collateral damage as part of that."
Now then, as captain, I both agree and disagree with both of your actions. And he kind of like steps around Bjorn, just kind of moves around Bjorn and kind of like looks at, kind of like staying in Bjorn's protection area, but like not really. I don't know how you describe it. Like Bjorn could still possibly defend Arthur if he tried. And he says, "Now, Quentin, it was, I believe. I was just telling your lovely crew, our plan of creating an armada. And as I mentioned to you earlier, I have no interest in removing you, I guess you could say. The ring was it was a mishap. I was trying to show you the value. Anyway.
Quentin isn't buying it. He's just not. He's been launched and his arm is like flopping uselessly next to him. Listen, Quentin. Listen, honey.
Listen, Linda.
He's not buying anything you're saying at this point. He goes, "You guys heard him. He's got a ring, and he tried to kill me, and he already said that you're still my crew, so you need to kill him now too. He's got a ring that does this stupid thing, so watch out for that."
Does my intimidation work on the crew as well?
You were trying to intimidate him, so I'm gonna say you haven't intimidated the crew.
Okay.
They're still actually standing there kind of agog at what the fuck's going on. They've been sufficiently confused.
Holds up his hand. He's like, "Now hold on." He turns back to the crew and he says, "Your former captain has turned down a place as captain, so I don't believe he has any intention of captaining any of you at this point, since I offered it, and he kind of like, well, he didn't want it. So, did somebody want to be captain of their own ship or not?"
And the guy raises his hand again.
There are one thing rather, that I really like about my choice, that my choice would have to have, and that's consistency. And he points at the guy whose hand's like vertical. Like,
and he keeps his mouth shut this time. And he just keeps nodding. Like he's listening.
You now have hiring and firing abilities. And you are now the captain of your own ship.
He looks over at the other guy and he just smirks at him. Who is absolutely livid.
That man has a permanent residence on this ship, and you are not allowed to fire or hire him. He points at the guy that the two like group or what? Yeah.
Yeah. He just.
He will be your first mate. I think you two do well together.
Quentin's standing there and he's like, "This is cute and all, but why haven't you guys fucking killed him yet? Like,
because they're not your crew anymore.
Going forward, all payment, all... I don't even know what business we're in, but however you make money, it's generally yours to keep, but understand that if it's ever requested that you are to pay the maintenance department for any reason at all, whether it's one of us that shows up at your doorstep or one of the maintenance department themselves to, I don't know, maybe claim the ship and all of you, you will abide by that and you will fly under their colors. Understood?"
And they all, voice crack, and they all go, "Aye!" and they raise their hands up into the air.
Now, what business? He pulls the guy over to me, captain. He goes, "What business are we actually in?"
The one you just promoted?
Yeah.
Okay. He says, I thought you knew, sir. We're pirates."
Fascinating. And who do you pirate and plunder from?
People with good stuff, sir.
Fascinating. If I ever hear that you have plundered any tiefling or human ships again, you will have a problem. Or, and he looks at Tarvok and he goes, or dwarven.
Oh, okay.
Elves are fine, though.
Yeah,
wow.
We don't really go on the water very often, you know, but
neither do gnomes and halflings, I would think, so he's kind of eliminating as many as he can.
And Quentin's still standing there with his one good arm. He's like, Am I taking crazy pills or something? This is cute.
I'm gonna put a hand on his shoulder. Yes, you are.
He's just
gone mad.
He just kind of
Please
drops
go to
his
sleep.
arm. He's like,
You need a drink.
I need a drink and a nap. He goes into the doorway of the kind of torn down shack and he just opens it up. And you see it like swing shut behind him as he goes inside and curls up into a ball.
So did we just enlist a pirate crew as part of the maintenance department, like armada?
No, we
Does
didn't.
anyone have a way to track a ship for the maintenance department? Or if, like he like shoos off the crew and he kind of goes back
Are we
to you
all by
guys.
ourselves? You know, our boss isn't going to like this or agree with you in any way or fashion. You know that, right?
If it gets
So-
on the ship, that's fine.
We need to get
No.
away home, but
No,
he's
I
not
want
gonna
to...
wanna.
We need to stop those pirates before they hurt somebody.
But I think Arthur's right though. If we can conscript them into the maintenance department, we'll have a pirate crew that operates in these waters, and I mean they know the area. It's
Information.
well, I mean besides that they can also just police the waters. We put a couple of our agents on the boat, and I mean it could be good for us. I think we got a solid win here.
We just need to make sure the maintenance department has a way of finding the ship once it leaves this dock. Does anybody know of a way we can do that?
If
I can ask.
There are ways of scrying and things like that I'm sure.
What about a coin? Are our coins trackable?
No, they're sorry, my voice is giving out on me right now. They are they're not trackable. They're merely communication.
Okay, Arthur, Captain.
I think Vera has a point though. I mean,
well, can we do the scrying thing?
but I mean, all she has to do is get in touch with Alistair. I mean, they might be able to do something together.
Yeah, we need to talk to Alistair. Mostly because I want Josh to be Alistair. Meow.
I haven't done his voice in forever.
Johan, do you mind?
Sorry, my cat
No.
in my bag.
Meow. Meow.
I'm not worried about the felines you carry around. I'm more asking if you're willing to talk to Alistair about scrying capabilities.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Oh,
assume
right,
you have
'cause
cats in
I'm
your
the
bag
one-
of holding.
I am the one with the coin. Yes.
Yes.
Bjorn, where did
And
you
the
find a
cousin.
cat? Bag of holding.
Do not ask questions you do not want the answer.
He is a kleptomaniac.
Alistair!
Ooh, kitty!
Alistair!
She's like,
Alistair!
All right.
Yes.
Yay! Alistair's back.
Alistair, we need something to track something. Send it over immediately.
What?
Right? Hey, I need a thing for a thing.
We
So-
I'm
have
on it.
acquired 2 pirate ships and we want to track them. How do we track them?
I guess. Man, there's nothing. Okay, so just as me, I can't think of anything that Alistair would really have that would be able to actually do that, other than just being able to scry on something that he knew about. So, like, if you left something there, you could look at it. But other than that,
The cat.
I know exactly what that thing could be.
It could be the potion bottles that I have. Bottle of holding sleeper holding sheep.
oh yeah.
One for each boat.
Pretty good.
Put him in a really hard to find place. and
Would
then
that
he'll
work,
know-
Magic Man?
Yeah. Like, so the thing about scrying
No, you said yes,
is
good enough.
usually it's people, but yeah, like that's. I mean, it should be able to like work if it's if you're trying to find something like that. I'm sure there's some kind of magic that could be concocted.
A locator spell is all you need. And
Yeah.
I'm sure they have locator spells.
Well, there's like locate object, but it's only for like, like 1,000 feet or something like that. So like keeping track of something over a really long distance.
Purple
is
mist. You can use the
difficult.
purple mist.
Well, yeah. So I mean, this is part of this is gonna be up to Ken the DM was like, I'm sure that Alistair and Vera might be able to come up with something.
Well,
but
I do recall mentioning that Henry, our resident meditation expert, is typically able to locate specific vials of purple mist, like the specific bits of mist.
Okay, yeah.
If he's able to concentrate enough to find it, basically, which he is a concentration expert. So that's a viable option, coming from the random voice in your head in game.
Yeah.
Thanks, schizophrenia.
Okay, well, tell Al if that's the idea. Then give me the mist, and I'll.
I only have one vial of mist. He's gonna have to.
Right?
Yeah.
You all got one, did you not?
We all have a vial of the mist. Yes.
Oh, we all have.
We do.
We were all given one before we set out on this little adventure of ours.
That is correct.
I totally didn't know. Does that mean that Bjorn has two?
No.
Wait. All right, he was handing out bottles and Bjorn wanted another one, but he already had one. Okay, never mind.
Correct.
I'm keeping mine.
And that should work. And then that's the end of the conversation.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Well, Arthur's like, oh, I believe I have one, but can I have yours? No one gives it theirs.
Yeah. Vera's like, yes, sure.
I'm surprised Vera would give that up.
Yeah, so Arthur runs off and catches up to the pirate captain now.
Mm-hmm.
Captain, I have a word, please.
Okay, sir, yeah. Toddles over.
Stand up straight.
Yeah.
Straighter.
Yes, sir.
One thing I hate the most is when somebody obeys me twice in a row. Anyway, here, I need you to take this. And he hands them the purple mace. And he's like, do not, under any circumstances ever, open it.
Oh. Aye, sir.
Do not open it. Ever.
Aye, sir.
Make sure you obey both those commands. Do you understand me?
Aye, sir. Aye, sir.
You're starting to become a lovely captain. I am so proud of you. Now,
a single
so many
tear
days,
starts to well up.
In so many days, someone is going to find you. They probably will be rude, snobbish, probably a little overbearing, maybe even quite worried about you guys in general. Just understand that you do not want to fight them. You do not want to aggravate them, because they will turn your insides into your outsides and your outsides to your insides, and well, then you won't be a captain anymore. So when they show up, they will introduce themselves possibly as the maintenance department, and you're just going to want to simply hold up the purple vial of mist and say, I did not open it. I did not open it. Arthur told me not to open it and to be ready for you. You understand?
Aye, sir. And he pulls a little piece of parchment out of his pocket and starts scribbling.
And Arthur's repeating. He's like, do not open it. Yeah, as he writes it. He repeats it, so he writes it all down. And he goes, okay, so you can read, you can write. You are smarter than I thought you were. This is going to turn out just fine. Please load up everything that you need food-wise and be on your way.
But where, sir?
That way.
Aye, sir.
Well, actually, does the maintenance department have a dock anywhere? Are they on the water anywhere? Are there an office maybe
they're in a
that
mountain.
we know of?
They are in a mountain.
Is there any other place on the shore I could send them to just to get them going in the right direction?
The dock to where the maintenance department is would be the one that you guys actually took off from in Erebor.
Don't we need those ships to transport people?
So I'm pretty sure we're just gonna have to. We're gonna have to reach out to the maintenance department. They're gonna have to set us up. We had a full airship and a big one full of bodies. I mean, we filled 8 lifeboats, life crafts.
Of 50.
Well, Our job is to rescue the princess. That's all Arthur's really thinking about, is getting the princess off the island. So
He's not wrong. Well, Tim, you've been awfully quiet and visible. So, do you have anything to add? And what we're doing? Or, I mean, Arthur's got everything pretty covered, but you know,
push to talk.
We can't hear you, Tim.
Tim, unmute your voice.
So I want to use the coin again.
Just
this time I want to talk to.
The Tim is broken. Leave him alone.
I want to talk to the main guy, our boss, that I do not remember the name of.
Glory Arrow.
I'm gonna, yeah.
Oh, the coin only goes to one coin.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna try.
Doesn't it only go to Alistair?
Yeah.
I need to speak to either Bevington or Glory Arrow.
As you're turning it on and off, it's like
yeah. Well, if you recall, I am only supposed. You shouldn't have this coin. So, is it really quite important?
We may have employed 2 pirate ships.
We have employed 1, and it's gonna be Dorn. What?
We may or may not have an engineer working on the other shore for a solution. The one that built the airship.
A lot has happened, and I need to speak with one of them.
One of who?
Bevington.
Bevington?
Yeah.
Alistair, your response?
And I wanted to do Glory Arrow because Bevington would be angry at you. But I think Glory Arrow wouldn't care.
From a DM perspective, Josh, it's okay whichever decision you make here. I'm okay with either.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Well, I know that.
I think Alistair's like, fine.
I want to be in so much shit.
Yeah, basically, he's like, I ain't gonna get some of my.
Okay.
Like he's like walking off, and he probably goes to whoever he finds first.
Okay, I think it would be Bevington, and from the coin you hear a. What do you say to Bevington when you find him? It's like muffled.
So I may or may not have given a talking coin to the newbies, and here they are.
And the coin just like clatters on the ground, and you hear like tip 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 footsteps running away.
New slime just like picks up Alistair into the ceiling and it takes off with him.
Yeah, sweet.
Just gone.
Bevington. Bevington.
Fuck is who's coin it?
Bevington.
Oh, hello, Bjorn. Yes, hi.
Hello, Bevington.
Hello.
So the ship that we were on exploded, and
what?
Now I'm not done yet.
You were supposed to be on vacation.
It exploded. There was a terrifying monster that
sort of
bit into my leg. I have teeth marks in my leg. That's not even the worst part.
What?
We hired pirates.
What?
Do you guys want pirates?
What? Oh my god. Oh,
Why did you
now I
send us
remember
on
why I've
vacation?
never had any children. I think. No, I think I have. Disregard. I haven't. That's another story. Pirates. Okay.
And Arthur may... You know what? Arthur is the admiral of these pirates, because there's 2 pirate ships.
Well, whoop-de-fucking-do for him. I suppose, as long as you guys use your best judgment, we can probably make it work, but I don't intend on letting them hurt anyone.
That's a good thing, I suppose. So we're on an island. Can you just zap all these people out of the island and back to where they need to be.
If I were to do so, Henry would bring them all here, and it would take days for... How many people are there?
Can you just do the princess?
I suppose I could, but why would you want the princess here?
Because, frankly, things have been going so wrong that if things have been going so wrong that she might die.
What type of island are you on, Bjorn?
It's an island with palm trees.
That sounds lovely. How about this? Why don't you just take... are you safe?
Never safe.
Is everyone alive?
No.
Who is dead?
Ileana.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, to be fair, that might not be a horrible thing. I'll discuss with you later on some things that we've discovered. Is Tim around?
Tim? Phone's for you.
What?
Bevington wants to talk to you.
I'm sorry, you've reached him at an inconvenient time. Can you please leave a message?
Tim.
Flicks the coin back.
Tim, now shut up and listen.
Fine.
I want you to give it to me straight. What the ever-living fuck is going on?
Arthur has all this jewelry on. Standing there looking around.
And are you guys safe? And can you make your way out without us spending days misting people in and out of our secret hideout? Please.
We have an engineer working on building another ship. We've acquired 2 ships, courtesy of Arthur. The big ship we were on our vacation, may or may not have encountered a beast. I believe I refer to somebody calling it a false hydra. The ship is no more. The princess is safe. And we probably have a couple of days before the engineer figures something out. Aside from that, we do have the pirate crew and Arthur's ships.
Do you have provisions?
Arthur?
Arthur calls
there
the captain over.
Crates and booze galore on some of these ships.
We have sea turtles.
And
good enough. All right, hand me back to the big one, please.
Please hold.
Grab it. Hello!
Ouch! Not necessary to yell, big one. Okay, so thanks to Tim, I was able to decipher exactly what's going on. I guess your vacation continues, but now you're sort of on a resort. I suggest you all just work on getting off the island, get drunk, and get some rest.
Okay.
Right.
And just throw the coin back in my pocket.
And you hear, bye!
So if I overheard that just as plain as I think I did, let's get hammered.
Drink up, small one.
And I guess eat some coconuts. Because
Arthur already has a bottle of rum in his hand.
I'm gonna
Just
go
standing there.
back and I'm gonna grab the other captain.
Tim's also going to head back that way to have a conversation with Dimitri.
Okay.
no.
So
what about Quentin? What should we do with him?
Honestly, I think we should just dispose of him.
No, Tim.
Filth.
It's a disagreement amongst the group, and it's best not to be overbearing with your opinion.
I beg to differ.
Well, we could.
That makes sense.
We
show
can tie him up.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say we could show him like a hand of good faith and like sit his arm. And tie him up.
He didn't seem too interested in good faith.
Maybe we should pay him and just try and get him to not be a jerk. Arthur looks back at all the boxes.
Do what you will.
of
I take no
money.
responsibility for his actions.
So look, if he tries anything, then I'll just put an arrow between his eyes, and then Tim can light it on fire, and it'll be like a matchstick.
Varia, would that be fair to say that if he were to garner a weapon and attempt to do bodily harm to any of us or any of our other friends on the other side of the island you've brought with us, or even the princess, would that be a good time?
That's fine. Self-defense is fine. I just
Protecting your teammates, not self-defense.
Now, Tim. Well, I both agree and disagree with you. We are past this, right? Yes. I say, we take the Tarvok approach and we simply tie up the man's hands, try to prevent him from getting a weapon, and if he picks up a sword, then, well, it's time
I'll heal him
and
first before I go.
So before we leave and we go back, Arthur, are you staying here to kind of do things with the pirate crew?
Arthur takes a big drink out of both the bottles of rum he has. Yup.
So why don't you let us take Quentin? We'll bring him over. I mean, there's guards on the other side of the island too. He's not getting anywhere if he's surrounded by armored uniforms and tied up. And that way, Vera has peace of mind. There's no collateral damage. And if he tries anything, we'll just beat him to death, or beat him into submission.
Assist him to death.
And I imagine
Imagine
Quentin either lost his pants or he's constantly pulling them up, considering I have his button for his pants.
Yeah, he's like, you can kind of see the door is still cracked open where he's laying down inside that broken up shack, and his ass is like plumber cracked out of his pants. He's just like passed out with a bottle in his hand.
Oh, also I have
doing anything.
I have one more thing I must do. Is the princess okay?
She's fine. In fact, she's enjoying handing out sandwiches.
Sandwiches?
Right? We didn't get any sandwiches.
Oh, we're going back right now.
Wait, hold on, Bjorn. Put the drunkard on your shoulders. Not me, Quentin. And I'll take one of those. I'll take one of those there bottles of rum from you, Arthur. And Turbock just snatches one.
Yeah, and then
I'm gonna throw Quentin over my shoulder.
Okay.
I'm gonna give him a good pat of healing
on his plumber's crack.
Before you guys leave, though, Arthur says, "Did I do good?"
You did the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
So
I hope I did good. And Arthur just goes, "I'm really tired."
I think you've done pretty good. I mean, this is right up Tim's alley, so I bet you Tim thinks you did pretty good.
Arthur just takes a drink and he falls into like a sand dune. He just into a sand dune, just kind of lays there, like sprawled out on his back.
As you actually hit bottles.
Yeah,
that was great.
Sound effects. The bottle over there.
All right.
But yeah, Arthur kind of like lays there, like it just kind of closes his eyes.
All right. So who's going back to the other side of the island? All right. So Vera, I'm assuming Vera, you probably want to start getting back to that treasure.
Yeah.
All right. And Arthur, you're getting hammered with the crew, and the remaining rest of you there. You head to the other side of the island, and you find everyone. The sun's starting to dip low over the horizon there, and you can kind of see it kind of glinting off the waves in the distance. And you see a group of kids standing around this big white blob, poking it with a stick on the shore, and the body of the false Hydra has washed up onto the shore, and they're just poking it.
Oh, gross.
And
Tim, set it on fire.
You could
make a fire pit out of it.
And
it smells so disgusting.
Smells like steak.
And everyone's just hanging out on the beach, consoling each other and trying to make plans on what to do next. You see Dimitri and his couple remaining maintenance guys kind of poring over the boats and seeing how they can rig it together, taking inventory of maybe some of the extra supplies that were stashed inside them, and talking with the old dwarven man, just Mr. Dwarvenson, seeing what he has for supplies to help recreate more ships, possibly. And Captain Exo is just standing at the beach, much like he was on the end of the boat, but his eyes are open, his hat is firmly in its place on his head, and he's just staring off towards the horizon over the ocean. And you guys kind of walk up to him there, and
I throw Quentin at the nearest security guard, and I tell him, this guy's a bad guy. Don't kill him, but don't let him leave your sight either. Do we have a brig? Put him in the brig. Then I'm going to go to
the old lady pipes up. She goes, "We've got a tool shed out back."
Put them in the tool shed.
Remove the tools first.
So
I gotta retcon something. Sorry.
Sure.
I have to retcon something. I gave Bjorn beautiful princess tiara thing, like a really nice one to give to the
on top of my hat for
side of your click-click hat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. But I gave it to Bjorn, and I was like, "Can you give this to the princess? Like, I wanted you to give it to her and let her know that I'm also okay."
Okay. Yeah. Then I just put it on my hat so I don't forget.
Okay.
Perfect. Sorry. Go ahead.
No worries.
But I want to talk to the captain first.
Okay.
So
Carva?
no, but before you go and talk to the captain, let's not put this guy in isolation. Let's leave him out where everybody could see him. We'll tie him up to a post. This way he can be fed, he can be watched, and he's not going to do anything sneaky.
Tie him up to a post. Do we have any posts?
Burn him at the stake.
If you take a wrong step, crucifixion.
Terrible. All right. Yeah, you could easily do that. Tie him to a post in the dirt or in the sand or whatever. So you hand him off to the guards and they snap right to it and they start working on it. And he's hammered at this point. He's pounded back a couple of bottles by the time you guys got to him. And he's just kind of his arms flopping around a little bit. It's still like you healed it a bit, but it's still not very sturdy. Yeah. So they get to tying him up, and you guys, I believe, are making your way to the captain. And as you approach him, the captain just...
Do you want to be a pirate again?
He just looks at you dumbfounded. I'm sorry. What?
Do you want to be a pirate again?
I'm not really cut out for the customer service side of things.
Arthur found a pirate crew. We hired them.
What?
We got 2 ships. One of them are going to be filled with pirates.
I suppose that would be an offer that is in the fates.
As long as you don't do anything stupid. We might be a pirate again. So stop looking so sad.
My dear man, I would love nothing more than be a pirate again, and I'll have you know, I was a firm hand on my crew. I would not allow them to needlessly hurt the innocent.
Perfect. Only plunder the elves. I took a list of all the ones Arthur said to not touch, so...
That is a strange request, but I suppose I could. Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, now that we have that taken care of, we have 2 ships. What's the ETA on that other ship?
And he kind of whistles over to Dimitri Cote, who perks his ears up, and he goes, 2 days.
That's
How
not
big
bad.
are the other ships, actually? Just...
The ones back at the cove there?
Yeah, I'm just curious.
They're not huge. They're like I don't know the terms for them. Definitely not as big as the fucking Catatonic. Like, it's not. They're not cruise liners.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Think of a.
That is a very big ship.
Yeah, think of a fair-sized yacht. You'll need more people to definitely run them, and I think hopefully Axel's going to bring his crew.
A one-mast sloop.
Let me look that up for you.
Picture like a 2-deck ship with the bottom being storage.
Yeah, I was thinking 2
like
decks.
You got top deck, you got a deck, and then down below would be the storage.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it's like a 20-person crew or whatever.
2-mast ship.
2-mast ship, yeah.
Yeah, we'll say they're 2 masts.
Okay, so
we could a 2-mast sloop, 2 of them.
Yeah,
there you go.
Fair enough. We could uncomfortably fit everyone.
Yes.
But
wait, why are there only 7 pirates?
Those are the people who were paying attention. Because remember, you were having people go back and forth in and out of the ship to like load it, and
there is a reason, but you didn't ask those guys why there weren't enough of them there. The ships were there. You guys never saw them manning them, though. There could be more pirates out on another bigger ship. There's only 2 there at this time.
Oh, well, sure, that makes sense. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, you guys just never really broached that topic.
Nope.
Oh, well.
So, anyhow. But you guys do have enough people to man it now, both of them if you wanted, and then probably maybe even tow behind a massive, cobbled together ship of sorts of a bunch of life rafts. So.
Cool, 2 days.
Well, we've earned a bit of a vacation, so I'm gonna drink this bottle of rum, get some food in me, and then drink another bottle of rum.
I'm going to find the princess. Stop sulking. And I'm gonna go find the princess.
Okay. Tim, what are you doing?
Tim will just wander off.
Okay. Tim wanders off into the sunset. But where's the rum?
Sea turtles.
All right, Bjorn, you find the princess. She's just kind of playing in the sand, making a big ravine to pour buckets of water through, and the rug's just hanging around her shoulders, hanging out. And when she sees you walking up, she just smiles and waves, and the rug also kind of flaps its little tassel at you.
So I'm gonna take the little tiara that's probably not fitting all the way. It's probably just like strangely balanced on it. And I'll be like, take it off. I'll give it to her and say, Arthur says hello.
And she giggles at that and goes, thank you. Puts it on her head and keeps playing in the sand and says, wanna play?
Yes. He's gonna sit down. And he's gonna start digging with his mouse and just
digs a giant hole with one hand, just real quick.
I think that is the perfect moment where we can stop it this week. That is, I would say, effectively the end of the RMSS Catatonic series. So thank you guys. You were about to say something there? It looked like.
And I was just gonna say it doesn't even exist anymore. It exploded.
Yeah,
it's kind of over by default.
I sure hope it's over.
It's kind of like island adventure time, I guess, unless we fast forward. So I mean,
yes. So thank you guys so much for being here again. Lionhead Gaming, if some of you guys are still here, thank you again so much for that wonderful raid. We really appreciate that. And we hope everybody else is ready for another interlude coming up, because it's been a long one.
Yeah.
It was long.
So
it was good stuff,
We'll
though.
have to do another talk.
Yeah,
sure.
we have to after that.
After hours.
Oh, yeah, okay. I was like, I'm sorry, Dad, what did I do this time?
Get in the office.
But yes, we should get an after hours talk in. Maybe we can do that this weekend with each other before Paul and I drunk stream together, if you guys are down.
It's a holiday weekend for me,
yeah.
so I got 3 days.
That's fair.
So.
That was our last weekend. It was good.
I think I'll be off on this weekend because I work all week.
Okay.
All right.
Fair enough.
Well, here's hoping. So
Neat.
you guys,
We'll try and figure it out.
Neat.
you guys are wonderful characters, and the rest of you are a wonderful audience. Thank you guys so much for being here with us, and we will see you all next Tuesday. You have
Bye.
Bye.
Laters.
Thanks again for joining us for this week's episode. We can't wait to see you all next Tuesday. Take care.